source you need for topics and toy news. This is Gen Z Report. Joining us live, the ultimate Marvel legends and comic collector. He's got the power of youth. He's got the stories. It's Ashwan. Next up, the master of SH figure arts. His collection is legendary, his knowledge unrivaled. Say hello to Zion. And leading the charge, the one and only, the fearless McFarlane apologist and the agent who never sleeps. It's Agent Zman. The Gen Z Report. Your weekly dose of awesome starts now.
What is up, everyone? Welcome to the Gen Z Report, your weekly dose of awesome with awesome topics, news, and all the sorts. From A to Z, it is I, Agent Z-Man. Obviously, can't do this by myself, so I've got Ashwan 231 Comics. And
howdy,
of course,
y'all.
and of course, Ion.
What's up?
And you can probably notice we've all got, suits on, and it's fitting for the episode because we're talking about the Daredevil Born Again Season 2 finale. So before we get into the big topic, just wanted to check the chat, say hello. We've got Keanu Leaves, right and early, word up. Then we have Damien Ristori, good tidings, good tidings. And then, of course, Keanu Leaves sound. No, I mean audio. But yeah, there we go. Of course, this is our time that we do our pickups. So I will go first, as A to Z. Go in ascending order. So right off the bat, very in theme with the what our tires are. I did get the Crimson Moon. I think it's the hood, like the enemy guy. He's like the one of the guys. I don't know his name. He usually has a hooded head, but just today I received this wolf head, which is from the same series, but I think it fits well with the red suit, and he's got his Crimson book, the Crimson Moon book, so that's pretty cool. And last but not least, we have Elric of Melonbone, or Melonbone, I don't know. This is from Savage Crucible. Awesome figure. You can actually do two characters with this guy. You can either have Elric here, or you could just make the Black Knight, which I think is one of the soldiers he has, or it's an enemy. So if you got two, you could actually make two characters. But yeah, that is it for me for pickups. Now we move on to Ashwan.
Hello. Right. I've got some comics. I'm going to show up my top three, or of course, if you want to see my comics, you can go to my YouTube. I'm assuming it's in the description down below. So I'm going to show off the three I got today, just because they're not on the video and certain stuff. But before I get to them, I'm going to quickly just show off something that's Marvel adjacent that I just thought I'd want to show because it's kind of cool. So my dad has been recently getting rid of some shoes, and he said, "Oh, do you want these?" And I said, "Yeah." I'm probably not going to wear them, but I thought they look cool. So I got Marvel Vans.
Ooh.
So show these off.
Oh.
I'll only show off one shoe, but it's Hulk themed, and is Hulk's toes in the shoe. So pretty cool.
I mean, they look stylish.
Yeah. They're still brand new as well, so I'm just gonna, and also the sole is all Marvel themed and Hulk themed. But I'm just gonna keep them and just put them on a shelf or something, just because I'll just put them somewhere, just because I personally don't want to wear them, just so I don't want to make some have wear and tear on them, and I just think they look cool because Hulk. But a bit different, but yeah. And then we go on to comics. And of course, I'm just going to go off of what I got today. So I got Daredevil, the Man Without Fear, issue 4, keeping it Daredevil themed. So, pretty cool
Awesome.
issue. Is at my local comic book shop. They have a load of these Daredevil issues, and I think like week by week I'm gonna get like a couple just because there's so like cool. The covers are so cool. Like just throughout them, and it's just like I think there was like at least like 80 issues of just Daredevil. So, and then second one is a one shot. It's Daredevil Man Without Fear, but it's Dark Reign the list. Just thought I'd get this, of course, keep it in theme, and also just like I like the cover a lot. Thought the cover was really cool. So I got
Awesome.
that. And then the last one is I got this more so just because I've been finding it difficult to try and find issue 1. And so I just thought, right, I'm gonna go into the trades instead. I'm not gonna faff about trying to get the comics. I'll buy the comics, but I'll just get them like in due time. But I got Exquisite Corpses Volume 1 trade. So this is the first 3 issues of Exquisite Corpses because the first issue is really hard to find now, like for an A cover, because I want the A covers. And it's really hard to find now just because of how good this has been selling. Like the A cover at least goes for like 20 quid and over now. And so I just thought I'd get this. I'm probably going to get volume 2 like in the next couple of weeks. But I'm just excited to give this a start. Probably going to read this Monday. So happy to give this a go. But yeah, that's all for me.
Awesome. Just looking at the chat, we got Lee Pryor 7151. Howdy, partner. We got Scotty Toys. Good evening, boys. Good evening. Keanu Leaves. You guys look like defenders. I mean, it's on theme. Demon Restory. Unfortunately I have sold that, or I gave that head to Dan. So hopefully, I think on his pickups for May, he will show that off. But unfortunately, I don't have that. They try, of course. They are stylish. So are mine. I'm assuming that's your dad, right?
Yeah.
Awesome. Shout out Ashwan's dad. And just here, yeehaw from Daddy Review. So there we go. Damien says, Ashwan, if you are looking for a bargain classic X-Men villain for your cool shelf, Arcade is on Star Action Figs for $9.99.
I think I already have him, but thank you.
Awesome. Now on to Zion. What are your pickups for this?
It's this my new Invisible Woman. Yeah, I don't have any.
That's all right. That's all right. It's all good. You know, sometimes I will have nothing, and it'll be like, "Here you go. Here's my hand. I picked that up." But anyway, that is all for pickups. And now we shall go off the bat. Nope. What happened? Everyone went away. There we go. Right off the bat, we're starting off with the CT Toys Superman Hush. Now we got full images for this release that will be, obviously now it's on pre-order, I think, or it will be on pre-order soon. So now we got the full kind of like look into what this Superman will look like. Of course, if you don't know, this is pretty much I don't want to say bootleg, but it's more affordable version of the Mafex Hush Superman. But this figure does come with something different. It does come with a sort of smiley head. So here's that normal head, the red eye head, and then the kind of like sort of smiley head. Oh, there we go. We seem to have lost Ashwan. I'll wait to see if he's back. But in the meantime, I'll check the chat. Your boys got toys is here. Yo yo. There we go. Hope you're having a good evening. And obviously, Justin Collects will be having their stream on later on. So think of us as the appetizer. There we go. Wow. Oh, that's thing. No. we got you guys are back, don't worry. I was just saying here is the kind of proper look to the CT Toys Superman. And this is the unique head that comes with this compared to the Mayfix Hush Superman, which will be getting a smiley head, but it's attached to a Clark Kent release. So you still have to get another sort of like figure to get a smiley head. But this is the offering. So you've got all the accessories from that Mayfix, but it also comes with the extra stoic head, as I call it. But what are your thoughts, both of you? Will you be picking this up, or will this be, sort of like, I'm okay. I don't need a Hush Superman.
For me personally, I may pick this up. I honestly don't know, just because I don't have the CT Toys Batman, and so if I were to pick Superman up, I'd want to get the Batman as well. And like recently, I had a look at, because the Mattel line is up for pre-order, or like the kids kind of figures, and I'm kind of tempted to get all of them.
Oh,
just because more so because of the Joker faces more than anything. So you know how they have like the Joker head sculpts? I was
yes.
then gonna have like them as Joker representations of the characters. So then when I buy like Batman, Robin, and Flash, they'll be in the collector's line. But for the basic line, there'll be these like Joker-fied characters, if you know what I mean. So I might go with that. But I probably will have a look at this, and when this is like fully up, and I'll have a look at the prices, and I'll just probably see, because I may even order this as well as the Batman one at the same time. So, but it looks very good though.
Yeah, fair enough. We do have a new subscriber. It is actually Kurt K. He goes, "Gents, I just realized I had subscribed. My apologies. No apologies needed. You are here. That is a-okay." But Zion, what are your thoughts on this Superman from CT Toys? Will you be picking it up, or will it be a push to the side? I don't want to say pass.
Well, this Superman is an immediate pickup because I had the Hush Batman from CT Toys, and I've been waiting for them to do a Superman. And now since it's finally announced and they revealed all the stuff, this is still a definite pickup. That they have both of them together, because this is like that Superman and Batman together in like the collectors like same line. It's something that I think that like a lot of collectors would want, especially since Marvel we can do like a lot of things with them, but there hasn't been no like DC like line where you can get like high end figures like in the 6-inch scale and have like Superman, and well, that's affordable. I should say. So to finally have both of them in CT Toys that gives us hope, and that they'll do other characters. And I like how they put us. CT Toys did something clever where they give them that extra accessory, and it's like, yeah, this product is better than the original, so you should buy our product instead with the smiling head. So I like that they did that, and overall, the figure still looks good, and when it releases, CT Toys will definitely be getting my $30.
Yeah, I think usually the price is like $30. So for us, it could be like between like 25 to £30, depending on like which AliExpress store that's usually there. I usually look at the shout out to Display Action, because he usually has the kind of like listings from the
Official
actual
one?
shop. Yeah, the officials. So I usually follow him for that. But this is a kind of a crossroads situation for me. So I I am one of those suckers who got the Mafex Superman Hush and the Mafex Hush Batman, and I have them on display, but I'm just like, and it's I tried to sell them because I was like, look at these CT toys, like it's more affordable, and they're like probably the same, like similar quality. It didn't sell, so I've now just opened them on display. They're there, so now I'm kind of contemplating: do I get this just so I can have the smiley head version of Superman, and then get the black and gray version of the Hush Batman that CT Toys did? That could be a way to do it, maybe for me. So for me right now, it's a maybe, but I'm kind of want to see what the colors like when someone gets this in hand will be, because you can see from this picture it's like he doesn't have the shading that the Mafex does, but it looks actually pretty like sick. And then when you go to these shots, I don't know if the person had their brightness up on their lights for the when they were doing the shot, but it looks very kind of bright. So maybe this is like maybe this it's just the photography that it's very bright, but it looks a lot more vibrant compared to the Mafex Hush Superman. So this potentially could be, I could be picking this up, but there we have it. We have the Superman CT Toys, and now from the third party era, we go to the main line with Jada's release, or the pre-order release of Ultra Street Fighter 2 T-Hawk. Now, obviously, the price it doesn't give you the price, but it's usually like 27.99. So I know a few places in the UK have it on for pre-order. But here is what it will look like. So we've got our boy T-Hawk. He's doing the iconic stance that he has in the game. So he can. It's definitely cool to see the bigger type bodies from the Jada line, because obviously you got like, if you do a Ryu, then obviously Ryu's to Ken and Akuma. But then when you get like the unique kind of like body types like Balrog, who is out now, and the last release that hasn't been yet like been put on pre-order, which is Zangief. But look at this figure, and also I love the diorama at the back, but I digress. This comes with a very cool accessory of I think it's the eagle. I don't want to say bird, but you can see it's got like feet articulation, like, or like the legs articulate and the wings articulate. And I think this T-Hawk comes with a separate arm piece that allows the eagle to perch on it, which is pretty cool. I know with Marvel Legends, with the Falcon figure, they had like a peg in between the legs, which looked odd on the listings. It just looked like he had a third leg, but a red. But but at least with this, yeah, it is a different armband that allows the eagle to perch on it, and it does come with different hands and different head. So you might think, oh, from Balrog's release where we got like effect pieces for his fists, and he came with like different hands for the boxing gloves, and you might think, oh, this doesn't come with too much. But I think like it's a bigger figure, but you also got you articulated eagle, plus it does like, it's not just a loose accessory that you'll just have to like find a way to display. You can actually put it on a separate armband. But yeah, there we go. So that is the official shots, and they have the pre-order for this. Will you guys be picking this up? I know, Ashwan, you do have a few Street Fighter figures, but will this be like an instant pickup, or you kind of still kind of like, I'm not sure if I want to go fully in, as we are close to the end for this line. So what are your thoughts?
For me personally, like you said, of course, I've got figures from the line before. It's just, my main thing is I haven't had like too much money recently, or if I have had money, I've been buying Legends more so than Street Fighter. But with this figure, I was like, I don't like know the character that well because like I don't have that much of a connection to Street Fighter as like a lot of people. But I do want to like get the whole line because they like do seem like and they will like, actually complete it. And so it's not the case of like if I buy 3 figures, I'm having to worry whether they're going to complete it. And so like at some point, I think I will get them. I don't know if I probably won't pre-order this, but it'll be one of the ones that I get down the line just so he can be a representation on the shelf. But like I still need to get certain characters like Cammy, Blanca. Like I need to still get some like more main characters like Ken as well, and because I've got Ryu, Guile, and Chun Li, so
Okay.
I need to get some more. But I do want to get into this line just because it'd be like a nice block that I can just have a whole Street Fighter block. It will look pretty cool. So it will definitely be in on this, but later down the line probably.
Yeah. I mean, right now, Forbidden Planet have a lot of the figures in. Like, I think they have them on sale for like £15. So I think they'll still have it because, like, last time I checked, they had the full stack of pretty much. I think the characters like M Bison, Cammy. Cammy, I think was full price, like a 22, but everyone else was 15. So you got like Fei Long, like you said, Chun Li. I think they had Ken, but also I think we definitely need a like kind of like a re-release or a remaster of Ken and Ryu because if you think of like those two plus Chun-Li were like the first figures of the line and to now like the quality has definitely changed. I mean they're still great figures, don't get me wrong. They're amazing figures for that representation, but I think maybe a re-release would be sick for those two, but that's I digress. Zion, what about you? Are you like would you be picking this up or just complete no like nostalgia to Street Fighter 2?
Yeah, not really. I won't really be picking this up. I don't have any of the Street Fighter figures.
Okay. Fair enough, fair enough. I mean, I get it. Like this it's definitely like an pretty old game. It's a classic, but yeah, it's sometimes I think you know, like a lot of people are like, "Oh, I prefer Tekken," or "I prefer Mortal Kombat." Hint, hint. But yeah, so there we go. There's
Yeah,
T-Hawk.
that's me. Oh, bad.
Yeah. Just checking the chat. Dude loves ska music. I have no clue what that is. I will search it up later. Keanu leaves. Jada just did it better. Yeah, so there was a Storm Collectibles release of T-Hawk. Now, that is not in like the 1/12 scale. I think they've recently changed their packaging saying 1/10. So it seems that they're finally realizing, oh yeah, those the Storm Collectibles figures are not 1/12, they're more 1/10. But yeah, and Damien has at last defo a pickup. Of course, I mean, if you're collecting the line and you've gotten all the figures so far, you got to get T-Hawk. I mean, come on. But anyway, we moved from Street Fighter to I know something that Zion will be excited, or maybe I don't know, but we've got SH Figure Arts Super Saiyan 3 Vegeta. Now, for those who don't know, this is from Dragon Ball Daima. So it's on Netflix. It was the last series that Akira Toriyama worked on before he passed away. But in this depiction, he is Super Saiyan 3. He never went Super Saiyan 3 in the mainline series like Dragon Ball Z or Dragon Ball Super. If you count the video games, there is a what if version of Super Saiyan 3 Vegeta, and he didn't look like this. He had like the full on big hair at the back, like Goku, like, you know, it extends. But we do have this to pair up with, you know, the rest of the SH Figure Arts Daima figures. So I think this comes with a different head for Goku, or even I think it's different arms, but it comes with a beam effect. Okay, yeah, so it's a different arm and then apparently some kind of arrow thing. I don't know what that is, but yeah. What do you guys think of this reveal of Dragon Ball Daima Super Saiyan 3 Vegeta.
Personally, I think it looks cool. I won't be picking it up. Probably not even like I won't be picking it up straight away, and I probably won't be picking it up later down the line because I haven't even like watched the series that much before. So, and I don't have a connection to it, so I personally won't pick it up. But like, this seems like a good like it seems like it's been taken straight from the show. From what I know of the character I've seen before, it seems like it's done very well, and especially like you said, like Zion probably is now or is happy about this. So like, I'm happy for Zion, but I personally won't be picking it up though. But it looks good though, and looks worth the price point, whatever it is.
Yeah, let me see what the price point for this. I don't think they've put it up, or they probably have. They
Probably
have,
like 37, like the average price for Goku and Vegeta.
yeah,
75.
so yeah, 75, and it ships out January 2027. So it's a next year release. Fair enough. um, Zion, what are your thoughts on this? Will you be picking this
This
up, or will it be a pass?
this might come as a surprise, but I will not be picking this up because I've only seen OG Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z.
Oh,
I haven't watched Super, and it'll be a while before I watch Super because of how I know how they did my particular characters, Gohan and Future Trunks in Super. So it'll be a while before I watch Super, and then it'll be like even longer before I watch Dragon Ball Daima.
ah,
So and Vegeta never went, and like I said, he never went on Super Saiyan 3 in Z. So I don't really have like a read that want for that look, this look of him, basically.
okay,
So I'll pass on this.
fair enough. I mean, I know Daima is a bit of like a kind of Marmite situation where it's like, I don't know if I like it. I don't know if, it's kind of that situation. You don't know if it's good or not. I personally enjoyed it. I don't like some of the changes to some forms, like Super Saiyan 4 being more of like red hair compared to the black hair that you had in GT. But I suppose I'm kind of happy that Super Saiyan 4 is in the canon because this, for those who don't know, Dragon Ball Daima is like before Super, but after Z. So like the way you'd watch it is that Dragon Ball, then you watch Dragon Ball Z, then you watch Daima, and then you watch Super, which will be getting kind of like remasters of some of the sagas. So I'd say wait for those if you want to watch Dragon Ball Super, because boy, the old animation for Dragon Ball Super really sucked, and like Dragon Ball Z is flawless, whereas like Super started off rough, or it probably stayed rough. Ooh, I don't know if the Super fans will like that. But anyway,
Bye.
exactly. Yeah,
I'm a true Z fan,
yeah,
like a Super, because like I, I saw I saw Future Trunks and Gohan like how they look and what they're doing, and I'm just like, yeah, I'm not watching this right now.
yeah. I think
The
a
only
lot of
thing
people.
about Super that I'm interested The only thing about Super that I'm interested in is the Goku Black arc,
Yeah, that
because he seems like a
is,
very cool villain.
yeah. It's definitely, that's a great arc from Super. The other stuff I'm like iffy about. I think the first one, which is like Beerus, it's okay, but the animation sucked. But now with the remaster, it might be even like it might be better. So who knows? But anyway, we have we have the Dragon Ball Daima. I haven't been picking up the Daima figures. I think I'm gonna just focus on the Namek saga or the Frieza saga for now for SH Figure Arts, which means I'll have to be picking up all the like Ginyu Force and Freezers, which I know Zarbon and Dodoria are like hard to get. So that's gonna be an adventure. So stay tuned if you'll see that in the pickups. But you know, um, so from Dragon Ball Daima, we move on to live action, and we have the Higher Toys exquisite Super Series 112 scale Apollo Creed. And I believe this is from Rocky 4. Yeah, Rocky 4. I usually don't get the IVs with the Roman numeral. But here we have Apollo Creed in that look where he had the kind of like American. He did the whole entrance, and then if you know the film, you know what happens. But this is part of that. High Toys has been doing a good kind of like release with these because we had Rocky, then we had Ivan Drago, and now we have Apollo Creed. So, and this is kind of like a deluxe. It's not really deluxe offering. I mean, it is because you got stand, you got this sort of like ring post. Like I remember talking about it on the recap, how like both Rocky and then Drago have this. Like you could potentially make a whole ring, but technically it's not going to be like full scale. It's probably just great for like photos if you have one side and the other side kind of thing. But it's all soft goods. It comes with a stool if you want him to sit on the corner. So like definitely good for photography. It's got the hand wraps, so you can have them without the boxing gloves. And like I said, it's got the hat and the jacket from the film. So yeah, for me personally, I might pick it up, but then again, I've not gotten any of the higher toys stuff of their 1/12 stuff because they're a bit expensive. Because this figure rocks up at the $99.99 or $117, which is including the US tariffs. So I don't know what that's going to be for us. So they're a bit too rich in the kind of like purchasing habit. Maybe if it goes on sale, maybe, but it's coming Q4 2026. But Ashwan and Zion, what are your thoughts on this? Are you fans of Rocky, and would you be like interested in picking this up, or kind of like it's too expensive for me?
Personally, like I like the films, and of course, like you said, of what happens to him and just the role he plays in the films. Like it would be a cool representation to get all three of them on a shelf. But for me, it is more so the price point more than anything else. Is like as much as like the figures do look really good. I personally like probably won't pay like £100 or $100 for a figure personally. I don't
Mm.
like if someone wants to, then it's fine. But personally, I wouldn't, and because it's not a figure that I like that much, then I wouldn't as well. Like if it was a legend, then I'd be more so alright with it. But because it's Rocky and I don't have that much of a connection to it, then I probably won't. But like it looks like very good and it's kind of annoying. Like it's cool the whole like rings thing, but you don't have a corner. And so like if you were gonna do like pictures of him sat in the chair in the corner, then you're gonna have to like put it at a certain angle so it looks like there's a corner there, but there really isn't. And so like it just seems a bit annoying in my opinion, but hopefully, like you said on the recap that maybe you could put some like little ring together, but it's still like it's kind of annoying when people get put with dio pieces that sometimes don't work or they work for certain things but then sometimes don't work for others. But if not, we could get Dan to 3D print us one. So
Yeah, 3D printed ring, well, with actual rubber. Is it rubber ropes? Is it made out of rubber? I don't know. It's bouncy.
like string or like something normally.
Yeah, exactly. It's not quite as like the WWE rings. They're more like flexible. These ones are more like stiff. But yeah, I totally on the same board with you, Ashwan. I mean, I have nostalgia for this film, but I don't know if I have that much nostalgia to be picking this rich item. But Zion, what about you? Is this similar to like a sort of situation again with like the price and everything?
Yeah, because like the price at that much to like a movie that I've seen the movies. I like movies, but I'm not that big of a fan of them to where I'm gonna pay that much for these for
Mm. Oh, I think Zion's Wi-Fi is. I don't know. Wait.
Like, can you hear me?
Oh, I can hear you. Perfect.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I was saying I do the price into the fact that I don't have like I'm not that big of a fan of them. I'm just gonna pass on.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah, it's definitely like an if you're a fan of the thing and you don't have anything of representation for this, because I know it's hard to get like 1/12 scale Rocky figures. Like I think it wasn't Mattel. Yeah, no, it was Mattel. Or was it Jax? Uh, They were doing W figures at the same time, but they also did Rocky figures, and those are always now like the aftermarket prices are ridiculous. Like I've seen them in like Dan's tour of like NEC Toy Fair. And there's always like the box set, but it's like ridiculously overpriced. So it is kind of like this might be worth it as like to like scratch that itch for a collector's line. I think it's also the franchise might be that expensive, but anyway, here you go. If you want to grab this Apollo Creed, he I think he's out for a pre-order, and then he'll be coming out quarter 4. So we move from here to McFarlane. We had to talk about McFarlane. I'm sorry, I'm the McFarlane apologist. So, luckily, I mean, there have been reveals, but this is kind of like what stuck out to me. Um, Usually, McFarlane does a toy show, kind of like live stream, if you will. And so, for episode 13, which will happen on May 15th, 12 p.m. PT / 3 p.m. ET. I have no clue what that is for the UK. I'll probably figure it out. I don't know. It seems that because of the recent Mortal Kombat 2 movie, they're going to be doing a Mortal Kombat special. So, and obviously they've been doing this Mortal Kombat Classic line, which I've almost finished collecting what they've released so far, and I've pre-ordered the stuff that's coming out. But this is definitely interesting to see because I want to see what characters they can do, and I think I'll have to do like a video or something about this, just because, like in my previous Z-Man report, I did showcase like who we have in the roster and who we don't have from the video game. So I wonder who will be shown, or we still have like the variant of like the clear version of Reptile and a frosted version of Sub-Zero. They have yet to be kind of like revealed as a release of like if they're doing as a 2-pack or something like that. So those two are definitely like a mystery of how they're going to be offered. But I wonder what characters will we be getting to pair up like with the roster. Hopefully Shao Kahn. Hopefully a Kintaro. Yeah, a Kintaro maybe. Or Shang Tsung. Or, Kung Lao. Come on. Movie has some. We don't have certain characters in figure form. So, come on. But yeah, I know you two haven't, like, sort of like picked up any of the McFarlane Mortal Kombat stuff, but would this make you interested to pick up as like they're actually going forward with this line?
For me personally, like ever since you've shown them off and Jay's shown them off, and just I've seen them in general, I've been tempted just because, like, it's I love Mortal Kombat, like, and so like I'm also like familiar with the recent games, but I love the OG looks. Like I know it sounds like weird, but I just love the classic looks, and so like this is one of the lines that seem like they're going to go forward with it. Of course, I don't know, but it seems like they're going to go forward with it. They've got some characters out at the moment that have piqued my interest. They just look like the figures look okay, but it's just the main problem is like I've never owned a McFarlane figure before, so I don't know what to expect, and I don't want them to buy it and then be a bit let down with it, maybe. And also, it's just the fact that Storm Collectibles came out, and I think personally, when I look at them figures, they look really good, but they're on the pricier side. And so, my main problem is I do want to probably get onto this Mortal Kombat Classic line. I just don't know whether to or not, just because of like the McFarlane part of it, but also because it's Mortal Kombat. I really want to, and hopefully this, like you said, shows off characters. One of the characters that I want to see them do, but I don't think they will. Even though they like, it's not really should be their like main character they do, because they need to do some proper main characters before. But I want them to see them do a Goro. I want to see how they do it. Just because, like, I'm pretty sure Storm Collectibles done one, and he looked pretty cool. I'm pretty sure. I can't remember, but I just want to see how Todd handles like certain characters, because most of the characters so far I feel like have just been normal bodies. I mean, they're not like normal, but they've been normal scale like people. So you got like the ninjas, you got normal like you got Katana and Melina, so like normal scale. But then I feel like I'm gonna wait and see like if I can actually get the 2-packs anymore, because I know they're sold out like everywhere. And also just see what this reveals, and if the figures come out of this looking good, then I probably will get into it. It's just like another thing that I'm pretty sure you mentioned before was the America got 2 exclusives that we may not get. I'm pretty sure, and that's the only annoying thing about the line, and that's my main thing of why I don't know whether I should get on it or not, because I don't know like how I'll be able to get them. Like if they don't come to a UK retailer, or we just randomly see them somewhere. But I don't know. I'm still 50-50 with the line, but excited for this live stream. We'll probably give it a watch if I can. So, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, Damien has a question. Have you got tickets for the film? Seems to be doing okay. I share the same ideas with Ashwan, to be honest. It's both affordability and character selection I go for. Not everyone can go for £80 plus figures, etc. Yes. I think, Ashwan, you were on the point of like Storm Collectibles, great figures. I got like the 3 MK3 ninjas and the UMK3, or like the unmasked version of Sub-Zero. Great figures, great accessories. They're just very pricey. And then the fact that that kind of line died and it didn't give us a full roster of any game. So like that sucked. And then, with McFarlane, you got to like, they are kind of like, they're good figures, but they're not like the most posable. You can get them into poses, but yeah, it's kind of like a double-edged sword. Like, I think for the ninjas, they got this like tunic that kind of limits the kind of like torso. But other than that, like the hands and everything, I think if you don't like pins and that stuff, it's yeah. But hopefully with this live stream, someone can ask, or maybe I'll ask on the chat, what will happen for it was Noob and Jade who are the exclusives. They haven't been put up on McFarlane's store, which would have been the only kind of like a case of like us UK to like order from there, because I've done ordering from there and it's not too bad for shipping, but of course it's still America shipping to the UK. But let's hope like we can get some answers for that. And I think Goro, any of those like bigger action figures like Shao Kahn, I hope they do it in like the mega fig kind of like sort of assortment that they do for like DC, where it's like the bigger figure in the bigger packaging, and it'd be like that, hopefully. But Zion, what about you? Are you like kind of like into the Mortal Kombat game, or is it similar with like Street Fighter? It was like it just passed, or is it the case that this is McFarlane, so it's like I don't know.
This the one was from the classic game, right?
Yeah, classic. So I think it's Mortal Kombat 2, because most of the characters are from that design. But yeah.
I'm gonna pass on it for the reason that the older Mortal Kombat games, not the more recent ones. If it was the more like recent games, like 10, 11, and like 1, then I'll maybe think about buying them. But since it's like the classic one, and I'm having like attachment to like the older ones, and also because it's McFarlane. Yeah, I just.
Yeah, no, I totally get that. I mean, McFarlane did do the Mortal Kombat 11 figures, which were good. I did have Sub-Zero and Scorpion, and I think Noob, Cybot, which I kind of want to get back because I sold them because I was like, oh, they pretty much ended that line, and I didn't want to like pick up the other characters. Like they did do Cabal and Nightwolf, or as Kenny from Encounter Culture says, Nightwolf. Uh, you know, it's there are some cases like like they did Baraka, and he kind of fits with this Mortal Kombat Classic line. And luckily with scaling with McFarlane, most figures are similar scales, so it should be fine. But yeah, no, I get what you mean. Like, there's a kind of case of like, oh, I wish, say for example, Mortal Kombat 2, the movie. I saw it yesterday. I thought it was great. Definitely has some, like, if you're a game fan, you're gonna see some kind of things that you'll be like, what? Or like you'll be like confused of like certain choices. But in terms of like an actual film, it's pretty decent. Like, decent story, great arcs for certain characters, and the fight scenes. Oh, whew, so good, so good. I might have to watch it again. But if they did if some company did Mortal Kombat 2 movie figures, or even go back to one, because some characters from that didn't move to the second film, that would be cool because it's more recency. Like, how Motu is doing movie figures, or Street Fighter doing Street Fighter movie figures, which we haven't seen yet, which kind of has me scared because the film's soon. So come on. But yeah, it's definitely weird that we didn't get a toy line to go with that film. But yeah, so we got at least let's go to America and get the. You probably will have a better bet to like getting from there, because it is also one of the things about this classic line is that once it sells out from like the UK stores, it's difficult to get. Like, I've had luck on McFarlane's actual store for some of the stuff, but then a lot of the stuff sells out really quickly. So your other bets are BBTS or, yeah, like I said, McFarlane's store. But yeah, so we have that to look forward to. Hopefully, it answers the questions that we want. Give us a Kintaro, give us a Shao Kahn, give us a Kung Lao. For Kung Lao's sake, or even Baraka. Just give us some other characters apart from the ninjas. I know I love the ninjas as well, but come on, we need more characters.
I want a Rain. Rain would be sick.
Yeah, and I
know
think
there's another ninja, but
no, but that's the thing. I am all on for the ninjas. Like, I know we're missing technically from MK2. We're missing Smoke. They gave us Ermac, who wasn't in MK2, but he was more like an Easter egg that, oh, people thought there was a red ninja in Mortal Kombat 2 called Ermac because they looked at the files and it said Ermac thing, and then it was actually just Error Macro. And then eventually for Mortal Kombat 3, it created Ermac as the ninja. They were like, oh yeah, let's play it on. But I could definitely see Rain being done. It is just a color swap, so it's like it could be done. It could be done. I know Damien had Kotal Khan. He's a pretty good figure from the MK11 line, which I might have to pick up. Maybe. And this is tempting Cyrax and Sector, but they are from MK3. And that's the thing with this classic line. So far, they've not deviated from a different game. They've focused on MK2. So who knows? If they do MK3 figures, oh boy, let's hope they fix the tunic. Because that tunic in MK3 is more smooth. So who knows? But anyway, we get off from McFarlane to some breaking news. I say breaking, but it's more so these recent reveals from the DC X Sonic the Hedgehog line. Now they've been doing DC figures, so they've been doing these I think they're more like 4-inch or something like that. They're kind of 6-inch, but they're a bit short. But this is their recent reveal of their next wave. I think it's wave 3. So we've got Starfire, and I'm blanking on the name of the hedgehog she comes with. It's not Rose. It's some. Or I think it's Blaze. Wait, let's see. Yes, it is Blaze. Haha. So we have Starfire with Blaze, and then we have Batman, who is just a re-release. Unfortunately, he's not a like different color or a different suit color. So we've got a re-release of Batman in this wave, and then we have Lex Luthor with Dr. Eggman. So I definitely kind of want to get Superman now and get this like Superman and Lex, and then hopefully they do a Joker. But what are your thoughts on this? Is this like a potential to pick up? I know like we've got literally Mattel coming in like from the top rope, being like, "We're here, so don't get any other DC stuff." kind of thing. But yeah, what are you guys' thoughts on this? It's definitely a weird, like a funny crossover. But yeah, what are your thoughts?
Personally, I won't be getting it just because like I'm gonna wait on the Mattel line, and also like I like Sonic, but I don't know of the DC crossover too well, and like I like Sonic the games more so than I know the lore of it, and so like I doesn't really resonate with me too much. Some of these characters. The only
Mm.
one that would tempt me a little bit, just because I think it looked cool, is Sonic as the Flash. I think that design looks pretty cool.
They did do
But
that in Wave 2. So
oh, okay.
yeah.
But other than that, though, like none of these really piqued my interest. Mattel's figures are coming out soon. Like I'm not gonna bother buying any other DC stuff unless it's maybe the CT Toys stuff or like maybe other licensed stuff. But to do with like main comic stuff like these characters, I'm probably just gonna wait for Mattel personally.
Yeah. Well, fair enough. Fair enough. Zion, what about you? Are you on the same kind of like boat for these? Like, they're what's the point? We got Mattel coming through.
Yeah, I'm on the same boat. Now but then they got Metallica coming next year, so there's no reason for like me to get these.
Yeah, I mean, fair enough. Like, I haven't picked up any. I kind of just want the Superman and Lex now, but then again, I'm like, do I also like they are on sale at some places, so it's a potential to pick this up and be like, yeah, why not? Let's just like I know. Shout out to Virtual Dave, or Andrew. He has pretty much all the figures from this line, and I'm like, oh, do I get into it or like? Because they look good all together, but it's just that scale. It doesn't fit with anything else. They are smaller. Like I'm not sure if it's like 1/18th or kind of like smaller scale. They're not 1/12th, so it's weird kind of thing. But yeah, we have these figures. Kind of cool to see Lex Luthor and Starfire, but weird that we get a re-release of Batman. But anyway, Damien, I'm sorry, but they're not in MK2. I've checked the roster, the like secret characters with Jay, Smoke, and Noob Saibot, and like their introduction was MK3 of Sarex and Sextol, but maybe in the definitive version, who knows? But I checked from the website. I don't know. And I've seen because like MK3 is when they brought all the kind of like unique, like the cybernetic initiative and that stuff. But anyway, I digress. So that is pretty much it for the toy news. Unless anyone had anything you saw that was like, oh, this is huge. I don't think so. It's been quite a quiet week, not too much reveals, but decent. But yeah, okay. So without further ado, let's get to the main topic. Daredevil Born Again, season 2, the finale. So before we get on to our spoiler talks, let's go with spoiler free. So we'll start off A to Z. So for me, I thought it was like that's all I'm gonna say for spoiler free. Ashwin, here you go. What do you think? Like spoiler free, your thoughts on the finale?
I thought it was great personally.
Okay. And Zion, what about you?
I thought it was very good. To me, it was peak. Not as good as season 3, but still peak.
Interesting. Okay, we're gonna definitely there's gonna be some kind of verses. So let's get straight into it. So those who haven't seen the finale, this is your final warning. You can come back later on if you haven't seen it. But if you still want to, like screw the spoilers, let's get straight into it. Let's get to the walkthrough of season 2 Daredevil Born Again finale. So right off the bat, we had the kind of court case between Karen being prosecuted as a vigilante and, Matt Murdock coming back, doing his lawyer shtick kind of thing. We're all suited and ready for the court. And we had, obviously we had Kirsten kind of like doing the support, but then Matt comes back to be like, I'm here too. And, he was schooling Fisk. And then like he does the big reveal. He's like, I play this card. What you gonna do about it? And he does the whole Iron Man shtick, and he reveals his identity. Now, what what were your thoughts initially when that happened? Yeah, it was definitely strange, but yeah, what were your like kind of like thoughts on that? Because it was
Personally, like when watching it, I was so surprised, like because he was full on like to be honest, him and Kingpin were going back and forth, and I was like, oh shit is good. I've honestly thought Kingpin was gonna like jump out of the booth and start having him or something. Like honestly, when watching it, I didn't know what was like gonna happen. Then of course he goes and literally straight up just says that he's Daredevil, and everyone's just like, what the hell? Like even the task force are just like surprised and laughing at the fact that he would reveal it. And like
yeah,
just when I first heard it, I was like a bit ballsy, like in the case of like certain things, like especially when Iron Man done it as well. They're both in the same situation where like they were in a court case to do with Iron Man, or he was in to do with Iron Man. Of course, he's now to do with Karen / Daredevil with it, and so like it's a ballsy thing and a like ballsy thing to do, but at the same time it helped his case out a little bit, and so it helps him, even though of course like you'd rather keep a character's identity like kept a secret for the longest amount of time, because normally he doesn't tend to. The whole thing of identity is you don't tend to tell many people, but like at the same time, like it doesn't bother me that much because it delves into the story a bit more, and like the people in the courtroom, yeah, there is like some random characters, but mostly it's people that like somewhat know that he's there. Some people knew he's Daredevil already, but like it doesn't bother me that much. But like just like I said, just how it delves into the rest of the episode, I just think like it helps his case out like so much, and that if he wouldn't have said anything, then I honestly think like Karen would have lost, just because they had evidence, like they had the whole thing of like I can't remember the character's name, but it was the guy who was on the ship, and he was saying about like Wilson Fisk, like was the leader of the cargo shipments going out, and he's the one who sunk it and done this, that, and the other. But because like the defendant was going on about, or the other, I can't remember the other guy's name, but he was going on about basically like, oh, there's not enough evidence. This is like some random guy. It's not enough evidence. Like you don't have enough proof, and so kind of Matt just thought like sod it. He's gonna say he's Daredevil, and then like of course it then means that of course the case then goes in Matt's favor and Karen's favor a little bit, and so yeah.
I mean, some good points. Now on to Judge Zion. What was your kind of like thought of this whole courtroom kind of case of how like chaotic it went, or like like what was like the initial reaction of this court situation?
So I was glad we was getting a court scene because Matt's a lawyer, and we haven't been getting a lot of like full fledged like court scenes that were like the center of like episodes. So I was glad that we got this. And when Matt and Fisk were going like back and forth, I was like, oh, like Ashwan said, it was getting good, and it's like, what's gonna happen? And then you had the evidence from the cargo ship, and then Matt was trying so hard to defend it. The other guy that was representing, I forgot his name, but the person that we were going against, he kept on interrupting and was like, objection, this is so it was like, and then when the judge was like, there's no other witness, and then when Matt was like, there's witness, and he's like right in this room. I was reacting the same way Karen was. I was like, there's no way he's gonna do this. And then he was like, I am Daredevil. No, I was like, no shot. He actually revealed his identity. And then the people were laughing and saying, there's no way he can be it. And then Matt took it a second further than throwing his baton, and then was just like, oh, he really serious about this.
Yeah.
And I was just in shock. Now him revealing his identity, it kind of does like, it's not bad. It was a cool scene. I like that he did that, but it was just that nowadays a lot of characters, a lot of superheroes in general don't have like secret identities like they used to, and it made like characters like Matt and like Peter like unique, since they're some of the only characters left who really have secret identities. And now Matt has revealed his. It's just like, I mean, he's fallen into that train now, and like half of the story was like cool, keeping his identity a secret. Now don't have that no more. It's just kind of like a big like change in like just the character. And I know he did that. He revealed his identity in the comics, but it's just like for the MCU in this TV show, half of the drama was keeping his identity like a secret, and now that it's gone, it's just not gonna be the same.
Yeah.
But like Ashwan said, if he wouldn't reveal his identity, then they probably would most likely would have lost that case. So the fact that Matt did that just shows how much he his love for Karen and like what he would do for her.
Yeah, I mean, I think those are like excellent points. Like without Daredevil being there to be like, here's the evidence, I was there. I was there, man. I saw it all. Objection, bullshit. No, because like obviously you had like Heather, fully just like roasting Karen's ass, like because she's like she's a psychotic, person with evil tendencies, and it was like all BS because we've like Heather throughout this whole season has been off the like mental stability. Yeah, she's gone cuckoo. she's seeing Muse everywhere, and then she's just like pretty much smacking Karen. She's defaming or defaming what you call it, sword master or swordsman. I think it's swordsman. I say sword master, but swordsman. We'll get onto him later. But yeah, I think in terms of the reveal, like you said, it did happen in the comics, but I feel like it's way too soon for like Daredevil to go, I am Daredevil, woo, kind of thing. Like, I kind of wish like we did have Bullseye in the kind of like, well, like later on, but I kind of wish he suited up as Daredevil again to show up in court to be like, I'm Daredevil, and like he'd be like, I was there, like, so then it saves Matt's ass or something like that, But or you actually had instead of, because like prior to like this scene in the court, like Matt and Cherry are shot up by the anti-vigilante squad, and he comes in with a limp and that stuff. I thought instead of him coming back as Daredevil, as Matt, I kind of wished he came back as Daredevil. So then it's like, oh, where's Matt Murdock? He's like, we don't know. And then like Daredevil shows up and he's like, Karen or Kirsten goes, ladies and gentlemen, we have a witness to like. So you still keep Fisk, like you still keep that evidence of Daredevil was there, but you don't do the reveal. I feel like the reveal, like you said, it feels like there's too much of that in the MCU right now. But
Mhm.
I kind of think they did it because of like they're like, oh, what else can we do? But that moment, like you see like Fisk almost kind of like losing it in the case of like when Matt is just full on, just like they're back and forth, back and forth. But yeah, excellent court scene. Just not sure the necessity of revealing his identity. But I think, like you guys said, I think this is the case where that was one of the choices of just having Matt out himself. Which means like maybe it's a case like he will be more Daredevil, but we'll get to that. So obviously we had the court case. Then we had the whole kind of like a fake bullseye showing up trying to assassinate Fisk or Matt, but then real bullseye shows up, takes down that fake bullseye, and then immediately the courtroom is like sanctioned off. Like obviously we had like Jessica Jones show up in the courtroom, kind of like being there, and the kind of like what was it, counselor of like to the mayor, the one who's like working with Charles. So we had that. But then the next scene was when Fisk just went completely nuts, and we had to have the we had to have the assembling of this squad of pretty much just three individuals who actually have some kind of, I mean actually just two individuals that yeah, there you go, there's Daredevil there. But yeah, so you have this lineup of people. Kind of great to see Mahoney back, because he's kind of one of the characters I missed from OG Netflix era. He was the cop to them, and we got Cherry. Everyone loves Cherry, right? The
Cherry.
man has got heart problems, but it won't stop. So we have him in this lineup, and of course, we have White Tiger 2. They're very short. I don't want to make fun that she's short, but like in the lineup, it definitely goes from like height, and I'm like, oh, why'd they do that? Like she should be in front at least, because then it's like, yeah, or like she's doing pose, but everyone's just standing there. You have like a bunch of like civilians taking up this like Daredevil kind of like motif, because everyone's like, you know what, Fisk is actually wrong, and when Daredevil just was like public identity, everyone's like, yeah, we side with him. So we have like you have this kind of like gathering of people, and then like everyone's like, yeah, yeah, and then it becomes, I think this is the next slide, absolute chaos. When Fisk just straight up not giving a fuck and killing a bunch of these Daredevil wannabes, or like the Daredevil groupies. He's breaking bones, he's snapping heads, and he's being a menace. Like his suit is going from white to red very quickly. um, Before we talk about this chaos, this lineup of people, did you read like? Were you like this should have been other characters, right? Like, yeah, where's swordsman? Did he just not bother to show up? It feels so strange.
Personally, I didn't have a problem with it because like it suited the time in the moment. Like it suited just all of them to be. Yes, Swordsman being there would have been a bit better, but like at the same time, like at least to have like some sort of like team up is good. Anyways, like Swordsman being there would have been a bit better, but of course we got White Tiger, Jessica Jones, Matt, Karen, who Karen does do some stuff. And so like even though normally the other two don't really do like many things, they kind of just stand there and just watch. But I like this whole like assemble kind of thing because I like the whole fact that like Daredevil has got like a whole crew, even though Kingpin's got the task force. Daredevil has got like all these random people, and it's just one Kingpin against all these people, and it's just crazy. Like I think we're gonna talk about it more in a little bit, but like it's just like the lineups. Like when you can the comparisons between the two is like the main threats in this, of course, is Matt and Jessica. But then like on the other side, you've got like task force people like with guns and artillery weapons and whatever. And these are just normal people. They just got like Daredevil masks, like fake Daredevil masks, and it's just like it is pretty sick though because I like the whole like protest because it's like I'm not like into politics, but of course it's kind of it is literally straight up just politics. It's just like like the left side against the right side kind of, and they're just like come together. Oh, they've just gone against each other in this massive courtroom, and like it's just such a sick scene of them like teaming up, and there's just some sick moments that come out of it, and
yeah. I mean, yeah. So, what about you? What were your thoughts on this lineup of, kind of like civilians plus Cherry and and Mahoney and White Tiger? What were your thoughts? Because like this kind of scene of them all coming together, like that was that. Yeah, what was your thoughts on that? Because
I mean, I don't have a problem with this lineup. Like the fact that Swordsman wasn't there doesn't bother me as much because like he was just there as like one of those like vigilantes that were like a part of just like the what's it called, like a part of like Fisk's little like terrain, and Swordsman was just like an example of like what happened if like a vigilante was like prosecuted and all that. He wasn't really part of like the main cast, unlike White Tiger who had a whole like arc with Hector, and now with I forgot her name. Is it like Maya or something?
yes, I think it is. Let me double check. I think it's Maya. Wait. Or I think this is. No, I remember we had like the whole thing of like, oh, is this Angela or is this the third one? No, she's Angela. So this is Angela, the second Angela Del Toro.
Okay, but yeah, White Tiger had that whole arc where it was Hector, being prosecuted like in court, him dying, and Angela taking up the mantle. So she would fit more like in that like main cast, and so as to be part of that final like group, more than Swordsman. And Jessica coming back, that was a good thing to see. Them two working together. Karen makes sense, and then with Cherry, yeah, this group. I'm not mad at this lineup. I think that it was fit, and it was like it's what we would expect like this lineup to be. Not any surprising cameo was what we'll get in that later, but not any like surprising cameos that will be in this lineup or I didn't expect Punisher to be here either. So like I really got my expectations set for this group.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's a lot of people who were like, "Oh, we should have got like Punisher and Spider-Man." I'm like, realistically, that wouldn't happen. They weren't connected to the story. I know, like this whole show was about vigilantes, and then pretty much in the court case, they just like Matt just straight up is kind of meta, or maybe the writers are meta. They go like, Fisk has only been focusing on one vigilante, and it's Daredevil. It's like, yes, that is so true. Like the whole show has just been Daredevil versus Fisk, which I think Damien hits this right on the, we will eventually get like what happened to Fisk afterwards, but it's like good ending, but let's hope nothing against Fisk at all, but let's see new threats to the city. He needs to be given a break. Yeah, we'll talk about that. But so from here we have Fisk just killing people. Also, one of the things that was interesting about Fisk's kind of like brutality, well, I mean, he was pretty much doing fatalities there, if you know what I mean. He was just he was straight up like, if you put him in Mortal Kombat, he'd fit right in. He's just there like smacking people in. But like one of the things that was so strange is that he's like I know he's a big boy, but those punches were very like superhuman-esque. Like has my boy been taking some of that, not Compound V because that's from the boys, but has he been taking something? Like
That
I
soldier
don't know.
serum.
Yeah, I mean, we know there was some from the Power Broker, aka Sharon Carter, but like, especially in like you see it first in the Hawkeye show where he's just lifting people up. Like, I know Fisk is supposed to be a massive dude and he's just like of like unstoppable force, but in the show it didn't show like much of like him being that strong until now. So I don't know if he was saving up his strength. He was like, oh man, let me work out. I mean, we saw him in the boxing fight, but like compare that brutality to this brutality where he's just like stomping on legs, he's chucking everyone off. Like, do you think he was like souped up in like the worst term to connect it to the boys? But do you think he was like on something?
Personally, no. Like, I get where you're coming from. Like, to be honest, like, there's a scene where I'm pretty like, at least as well, to link it back to season 1, what he does to the guy, I think he works for the police or works for the government. Where he squishes the guy's head just with his hand.
Oh yeah.
And like, I get where you're coming from in the sense of that, as well as in this season. Like, I swear he literally grabs someone and like push them against the wall, and they like fold in half like a phone. They end up like fold in half like a flip phone, and it's like he's just fighting like so many people, and he's getting all bloodied up, and like of course, like you said, like one punch and then near enough down, you hear like bone snapping, whatever. But at the same time, like, when I think of Kingpin, I do think of him being this force. I get what you're saying, is because he's a bit smaller in this, and he hasn't been shown as much doing stuff. But I think it's just the main thing of it is because, of course, of how big he is in the comics. Of course, to then like have an actor play that in the series, he won't ever be that big, and so like they've got to then keep the powers somewhat the same, but then have it be like a somewhat normal sized man. And so like I think it's more so what it is. That's the same with like, even though they probably won't do it, but like say for instance like the Blob or Juggernaut, I think Juggernaut should be like big CG like he was in Deadpool, but like if they were to, they could just have like some really big man and then just have him like somewhat be Juggernaut or somewhat be the Blob kind of thing.
Yeah.
But like he gives off like an impression of the Kingpin, and like he definitely, at least in these scenes and what we've seen before, you definitely don't want to like fuck with him after he's just lost the court case, because he goes mental. Like I just love the scene where he just like he's in the courtroom and he hears them and he's like, open the doors. They open the doors and he full on just charges through, and he starts just throwing left and right, and it's just like the main reason why I love season 2 so much is just because we get a lot of like cool fight scenes, and I love this one so much because they don't hold back, and this is why I love this side of Marvel more so than some of the other stuff, is because in Daredevil and in like stuff like Daredevil, they're able to like up the ante to do with like violence and stuff, just because like it suits the narrative a bit more. And like it's just with this, like you said, like bone snapping, like he's just going crazy, to be honest.
I mean, Damien, he's dropping some great facts. He's a master of multiple martial arts, including sumo, judo, hapkido, making him highly agile and dangerous despite his size. And his appearance is intentionally designed to make opponents underestimate him. So maybe I'm off like being like, he's like souped up, but then again, it's like those are civilians, so they have no fight experience. They're just there like They don't expect that they're gonna be hit with the bullet. Well, I mean that's Buck, but the fist going pow! And like you said about the whole flip phone, he technically did that move, the bullseye. Yeah, and hence why Bullseye needs the unknown metal in his spine or whatever, because they haven't explained if it's adamantium, which pretty much it is. But with that, like, he had to get that, but he didn't fold like the guy that we see. He's just full on like a Samsung flip phone. But yes, Zion, what were your thoughts on the brutality
that's like
in this scene?
where he pulled a Punisher, decked out in like a white low like outfit. At the end, comes out all red. But no, Fisk has shown to be like a like powerhouse in like early seasons, like in the first season with the car door incident. During the final battle with Daredevil, he picked up Daredevil and threw him down. Second season, he fought Punisher like in jail. The third season, yeah, he did that move, the bullseye, and then like guys, when I was saying, he did that with to that one guy's head, and even like a couple episodes ago, he like punched through like a concrete like pillar. So we kind of gotten like shown like how far his strength can go, but not to like this level. This is the exploding bulldozer, as Miles would call him. But yeah, I was just like, you're doing all this to civilians? It's just, yeah. If people don't realize, people don't realize about Biscuit's true nature after this incident right here, then New York is just a lost cause. Because
yeah, one of the things that confused me is like, Fisk has been arrested multiple times and been proven in court that he is a bad guy. Like all of season 3. Shout out to Agent Nadim.
Nadim,
Man, Nadim.
they mentioned him.
Yeah, I know, which was like, so sad he died. But like the fact that it's public knowledge that he's a bad guy. It's not like, oh, he got away scot-free. No, because like the Netflix shows are canon, so it's like that happened, man. He's exposed, and then obviously Blip and that stuff, he kind of like got away into like the corners and did his old like dealio on the side. But it's strange, but like I think I think I'm like maybe thinking he was like, oh, just because of the way he looked smaller compared to like actual Kingpin in the comics. I was like, oh, he must be juiced up, but he's not. Who knows? They might reveal that later on.
But
yeah. So then, obviously, after this, we had the final confrontation between Matt Murdock and Fisk, and it's not a fight. It's a simple like chat between two foes that understand that this is going to be a never-ending battle unless one of them dies. Similar to like Joker and Batman, where they kind of like, especially in Killing Joke, Batman's like, we could have been friends. Like you went through a different like view of life and that stuff. Obviously, this is a different case. This is more like Matt realizes that they can't. They're destroying the city, and it comes to the case where Matt says, like, he kind of like softens Fisk to basically go, "We need to stop," and then like Fisk just agrees, or like they kind of get to like a mutual understanding. And now we'll see what happened, like the aftermath of this. But this scene was so powerful. Like it's just dialogue, but Charlie Cox and Vincent D'Onofrio are acting their ass off during, like, before they even get to this. Like you have this whole like a bunch of those daredevils are trying to go up the stairs, and like Daredevil's like, no, 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 what are you doing? Like Fisk is gonna chuck you off that banister. Stop. And then like you have, like, you know, Daredevil coming through the side, you have Jessica Jones coming through the side, you also have Karen coming through the side, and it's all kind of like a pyramid all coming together. And then you have this moment where everyone stopped and they're just talking to each other, which, you know, some cases can be terrible, where it's just like, oh, we had such a great action scene and then we go straight into dialogue. But I think this one works so well because they kind of both are in the same situations, like nothing's gonna change. Please, can we, you know, finish this and not have another season with Fisk and Daredevil fighting each other again? But yeah, what were your thoughts on this kind of like scene? And like, we'll see the ramifications on the next slide, but yeah, what was it like, the kind of like initial reaction to this? Because it's definitely like a great scene for them both.
Yeah, like personally, when like I watched it, because like how it starts is, of course, like the like Daredevil cosplayers, basically what I'll call them. They're all like swarming Kingpin, and like on top of it, he's just like, so he gets like full on like toppled upon, and it's just it gets to a point where like Matt lets Jessica Jones and um lets Jessica Jones and thingy know that like this is not what he would like, because he didn't want it. He didn't want the conflict. He didn't want to like do all this stuff at the start. Like, yeah, he doesn't like Fisk, but he didn't want like this to go down like it did. Like he would have rather, hence and why like he results it in the way that he does. Like he ends up just like straight up like he just charges through the crowd. He even like, because you can tell in this scene, he throws off his mask. Like he doesn't. I don't know if it's more so just so then it's like man to man kind of thing, and it's not really like he's not in costume, so then like Kingpin doesn't feel like a little bit threatened or something. And so like he just like charges through the crowd, and near enough straight up just says to him that like, make this stop. Like, can we, like, he's basically telling everyone to stop and just like telling Kingpin to go on with it. And Kingpin like near enough just says to him, "I'm not gonna shake your hand, but I'm gonna." I like he kind of respects him in a way, not really, but like they kind of have a respectful moment, and they kind of just like, of course, after this, like they go their separate ways, but like it's just like, because honestly, when I first saw that Kingpin was up here, I honestly thought he was gonna get like pushed off the balcony or something, and I honestly thought like either he was gonna push someone off there, either Matt was gonna go off there, Daredevil was gonna go. Matt is Daredevil, right? Yeah, Daredevil was gonna go off there. Kingpin's gonna go off there, or like some random cosplayer is gonna go off there. Like he's just gonna throw off. I thought he's just gonna start throwing people. Like, I thought he's just gonna grab one guy, throw him off, grab the next guy, just keep lobbing him at Matt. But like, it's kind of good that they resulted it in like a civil way, because like if it weren't for Matt stepping up and basically just saying, right, let's stop this because we both don't want this to happen, then most likely Kingpin probably would have like killed everyone. Like if he could have, he probably would have just went even more crazy, and then like if Matt didn't get there when he could have, he could have ended up killing like Karen or something. I don't think he maybe would have, but like it could have got to the point where if Matt didn't step in, like other bad shit could have happened. So But yeah.
Mm. Yeah. I. Mm, you mentioned Karen, and I was like, I could see like a different outcome from this. Like, like you said, it could have been, Daredevil being thrown off, or it could have been Fisk. Or I was thinking maybe like Fisk killed Karen and then Daredevil straight up, like, I wouldn't say kill because obviously they can't kill Fisk, but basically leaves him to like almost a death state, and then he kind of like realizes, oh shit, I shouldn't have done that. And then he, we'll get to that where he's at after this scene. But like that could have been that reason. But anyway, Zion, what was your thought on this kind of like confrontation between like Fisk and Matt, kind of like quieting down the chaos, if you will?
I like the talk no jutsu that Matt used, and I like how I like when like movies and like TV shows like do this, like when they have like a great protagonist and a great antagonist that's been going at it for like a long time, and how they didn't settle it by like just fighting, they settled it by just like talking it out. And I like how they did it here because they did it like splendidly. Of how it took like a Fisk like a minute to like agree with them because he wasn't going to agree. He was just going to keep doing what he was doing. But then Matt was just like doing his best to try to convince Fisk to like, because like they've been doing this for like over like 10 years now because they didn't blip. So they've been doing this for like 10, like 15 years. And Matt was like, this is going to end because like realistically, this is like the third time like he's taking him down. So it's, and Matt was just saying, making like good points, and then Fisk was like, trying to like just like counter that and like combat that. Then overall, I really like how they're both still alive, and they both like lost stuff from each other. They like took Fisk has like took things away from Matt, and like Matt has like took things away from Fisk. So like they both lost stuff. They both like at their like not lowest point, but like both at like low points, and it's all because like their rivalry, like they've been fighting for like a long time, and it's not gonna change unless they try to put that behind them and then make something like do something different. And yeah, it's a good end. Hopefully, it's like an ending for now to their little rivalry, and have it be on like hiatus.
Yeah, exactly. I just want to pull this comment up. We have Dell DMs or DMZ. The whole show was ass. It almost made me throw up. We'll get to our verdict, but fair enough. But one of the things is like, well, yeah, let's get straight through it. So the aftermath of this, we had Heather just completely go nuts and put on the disgusting mask that was Muse's mask, and then like she looks at her reflection, and then she sees herself normal compared to like how before she saw Muse, and now even though she's got Muse's mask, she now sees herself. So straight up, Heather is gonna become Muse, and I think we predicted this like during the kind of like midpoint or like the start of the season, because we saw how she was looking at Muse or like a vision of Muse, and we were just like, girl, you're gonna go crazy. But now that she knows, like I was kind of surprised she didn't have that much of like, oh no, kind of like reaction to Matt's reveal of him being Daredevil. But like this kind of goes like she's fully cracked, like the mirror's cracked, and now she's complete chaos. Yeah, and like I think Alexi's saying they were definitely telegraphing her turn. Like from like first season of Daredevil when she was with Matt, like she was very chill. She had to like tried to understand vigilantes and that stuff, and then obviously she got attacked by Muse. But then, like, one of the things that surprised me is that she like blocked out the case that Daredevil saved her. So I don't know, like, if she will keep that kind of like memory, or she's just completely like, Muse is like, I am now Muse, kind of situation. But yeah, what was this kind of like initial aftermath reaction of Heather putting this dirty ass mask? I mean, it's a cool mask, but it's like, I don't think that's been washed. It's like taking it off the dead guy. But yeah, what were your like initial kind of like thoughts of Heather becoming Muse 2?
I mean, like, I personally weren't surprised, as most of us probably weren't. But like, it's just throughout the second season, like you said, in the first season, she's pretty chill and she's this, that, and the other, and then second season she switches up like that just to the whole Muse thing, and it's just like, it kind of like, she got traumatization from it because of course Muse nearly like killed her, and then he then like he then killed she then killed him, like, kind of thing, and so she was, and because like the whole thing of like, he used to be one of her patients that was just like a normal kid, normal like teenager who was a bit odd, but then one day he just snapped, and it's just like, now in this second season, like, it all started when, like, of course she's like seeing Muse in certain situations. She was like, because she works for like Fisk now, and also just because of the Muse stuff, like, she was like when she has a interview with like Swordsman, she's like changing the answers just because, like, just to get him into prison more so, like, the other things, like in the court scene that we were just talking about, like, she full on like goes off about Karen, and just full on goes off about like the whole like situation on how like her interview went with Karen, where she swapped answers again, and she kind of just like was changing up certain stuff. And because I think one of the other parts, like, to do that court scene is because like Karen is now partner with Matt, and she used to be Matt's partner. There's a bit of like jealousy there, kind of, and so that's like what most of it was, because they were just going like back and forth. And but like, to be fair, I'm not surprised about this Muse thing, just because they've indicated it for the whole show. Like, we've like may have seen like certain stuff to do with her later on, maybe, and like, and they go down this road in the comics, even though like it's a bit different. Like, I'm pretty sure it's a different character. Like, maybe it has more of a tie into the actual Muse. I can't really remember too much, but all I know is that they actually go the female route with Muse and other like media stuff, like comics, and so like, I'm not too surprised that they went down this, but it's just like, the main thing that I don't like about it is just the fact that we didn't get more of Muse. But of course, like, that's a gripe more so with the main season than the second season. But I just hope that she gives off the same energy as Muse did in season 1. Like, even though it'll be like a bit different, I just hope that hopefully maybe going into season 3 that she's able to give off the same energy like the actor's able to, and like, she's able to basically be Muse 2.0, I hope, going forward.
Yeah. It's so strange because Heather's character in the comics completely different. Like, she's just you know, like, I think she's supposed to be like she comes from a wealthy family and that stuff, so she's a bit of a rich, princess kind of situation. And like, because I think she doesn't have this kind of like sort of like a psychology thing or nothing. Like, she dies, like, spoiler alert for her character, she died back in 1985, like in Daredevil issue 220. So like, she's not like a modern character who's now like in the comics and that stuff. she's an old character that they brought her, but obviously the way I think there was kind of talks of like, I think the director was saying like, because of the mistakes that they did for Muse in season 1 of like a not living like not him living up to the hype and not giving him that kind of like mysteriousness or powers, because in the comics Muse has powers, whereas in the show he's pretty much just a psychopath who loves to like paint blood and that stuff. But yeah, like Heather in the comics has no kind of like that situation. Like she obviously this is all before her becoming, well, all before Muse, and this, like, obviously her putting the mask on means she's Muse 2, and there is a Muse 2 in the comics, or Muse, because it's not really like she's got the title of Muse 2, she's just Muse. But she's more of a recent development, and I think it was because the show did it, or the show was going that way. But like, I think the identity of Muse 2, I say Muse 2, it keeps on, it's just like natural, but like, is Morgan Whittier. Like, even OG Muse, he didn't have an identity until the show, which kind of like, the show kind of ruined that whole mysteriousness of him. But with the second Muse, she's an artist, and I feel like it's going to be strange, like, for Heather to kind of like go into that artistry, like, sort of flair, unless she just goes like the Muse persona just takes over and she becomes more of an artist, because maybe it's somewhat related to like Fisk, because Fisk was always interested in art, Vanessa was interested in art, so it's kind of like a carryover. But anyway, Zion, what are your thoughts on Heather Glenn becoming Muse, or Muse 2?
I expected that she'll become Muse because, like, throughout the course of the season, she's been like really kind of a little cocoa puffs a little, especially against vigilantes, and then with her being traumatized by Muse and how like she feels like betrayed by Matt, and especially now with his like the whole thing with Karen and his identity being like outed. Yeah, she's definitely not in a good state. And to her to become like Muse 2, it's like a natural progression for her character in this show. Like, I think that this is like the best way to take her, honestly. And yeah, it'll be kind of strange because she's not an artist, she's like a psychologist. But I think they can like pull it off to where it's like tweaked a little bit to not be like the exact same as the OG Muse.
Yeah, I could definitely see that. And we've been seeing Muse a lot, and there is a Marvel Legends 2-pack that's coming out soon. And Damien was wondering if we had any luck securing that 2-pack, because yeah. We all share the same thing. that 2-pack, surprisingly, I think, obviously because of Muse, sold way too quickly. Like, I do hope it gets back into stock, because that's such an iconic character to add to your display. And I think the Bullseye, like, other people have justified. Oh, I said it. Are we gonna summon him? I don't know. They, kind of like, oh, you could use that Bullseye to be that, like, you can use him in different displays, like a G.I. Joe display, or for a team that he's from. Like, some of the characters have been done, like Stiltman, and I think it was Armadillo. But so like there's definitely use for that Bullseye. But Muse with his red paint, it's not blood, it's red paint, it's Hasbro. Like, it's such, I really hope we get it. I mean, all three of us should get it. So Hasbro, please.
Because like two characters that I don't have, that's a good deal.
Yeah,
because I need a Bullseye.
Exactly. Like, for me, I've got the 3-pack. I like it because obviously Daredevil and Bullseye and Elektra. Although we desperately need a red version of Elektra. Like, just use that base body from the 3-pack, but just release her on a single card, please. Like,
Or
yeah,
use the body from the Black Widow and Psylocke.
I think it is the same one. Like, she's on that similar.
Update.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it wasn't like highly or like articulated as like the new ones are.
Ah, fair enough. Okay, yeah, maybe the red one gets that treatment. Damien shares the same fate as all of us, or us three. Uh, but anyway, so from Muse we move on to Dexter, or Dex. I say Dexter because that's a term.
Benjamin Poindexter.
Yeah, Benjamin Poindexter and
What a name.
Charlie or Charles. I can't remember, but we have this scene where they're off on a flight, and it seems like Charles is able to join this new like mile club or whatever, and he's like, oh, now he got someone else. Now this is hinting to something like to certain certain characters reveal in the show, which we'll get to this next slide. But this has been a very like weird part of the show. Was what was the importance of Mr. Matthew Lillard here with his character of Charles/Charlie? Because obviously we did hear him talk to Contessa DeFontaine. I don't know the full.
Valentina Allegra de Fontaine.
There you go. See, Zion knows it. I have no clue. It's like I start off and then it doesn't work. But we hear that he's been working with her, and like he's had run-ins with Jessica. Kind of was like, oh, to back off, like to avoid. And we heard that he was working with someone that Jessica knows, and we'll get to him later. But now it seems like he's replaced that person with Bullseye, which this is definitely an interesting thing. Like if it's connected to Contessa, Damien requests say the name again.
Valentina Allegra de Fontaine.
There you go. Charles/Charlie was contacting her, and like they're definitely working together. So is she secretly, because we know after Thunderbolts, she's kind of like shoehorned in with the team. Like they're like, oh, we control your ass now because you don't want the public knowing that you created this crazy weapon known as Sentry, and it backfired. So is this Valentina trying to create a Dark Avengers? Like, is she secretly creating a team to fight the new Avengers? Because obviously now they're retitled to the New Avengers. Is she creating a separate Thunderbolts team that will become the Dark Avengers, and the first member is Bullseye? What is going on? what is your like initial kind of like thought of like what this could like these two could be up to, like either next season or like just in general? Because it's like it's definitely weird that they kind of like they leave New York, so I don't know if we're gonna see them like in season 3, but we're gonna see them at some point. Yeah, what are your thoughts on Bullseye and Mr. Charlie?
Well, I know whether they're in season 3 or not because the actor revealed it. And,
okay. Yeah.
he basically just straight up just said that he's in a couple scenes, but he's not in it a lot.
Okay.
Apparently. And so I don't know, but like to do this whole scene in general, like of course, the main focus is of course about Matthew Lillard's character getting this like card. Then of course it pans over and you just see Bullseye there. So I'm like, oh, because I like forgot about the thing to do with the other character. I forgot about the working for Charles. So I honestly just thought that Bullseye was just gonna kill him. Like my first thought was like, oh shit, Bullseye just gonna kill Mr. Child. But then I like realised within like seconds, I was like, oh, no. Then I was like, oh, okay, I put two and two together. But like, it's just I do want, like you were saying about maybe Dark Avengers. I do honestly think that hopefully going forward, that this means that he'll have more like screen time, kind of, just because this is the only like thing. I mean, of course, it's another like topic to talk about, but like I think that the main somewhat problems of some of the Netflix stuff is they're really self-contained, but then they're now like because they have more so of like the license, or not the license, but because they now more so have all the Netflix stuff, and because they're branching out in different directions, a lot of the characters are appearing in other stuff, like of course Punisher's in Brand New Day, Daredevil's rumored to maybe be in Brand New Day or whatever, like, and so like, and of course Fisk now, how he ends in this, so we don't know what he's doing. Bullseye's now going on this, maybe may do something with Fontaine. And it's just like I do want to see Bullseye with a comic accurate suit, but like the only problem though is if he goes full Dark Avengers, then we won't ever get he may not be able to get the comic accurate because he may go straight Hawkeye.
That could be true because I mean, it's still in limbo about Hawkeye season 2. Originally, they wanted to do it with Bullseye's brother Trickshot showing up and fighting Clint and Kate Bishop, but obviously because of dealings and whatnot, that's not happening so far. It could happen later on. Who knows? They might reveal it Hall H at the San Diego Comic-Con, but yeah, I get what you mean. Like if they did Dark Avengers straight away with Bullseye, it would mean he'd be Hawkeye. So it's like, I kind of want to see him as Bullseye first. Now, I did hear rumors that he might get a new suit for season 3. Who knows? That's definitely another topic about season 3. But yeah,
like one of the other things that I was just thinking about with the Dark Avengers. One of the main members of the Dark Avengers is Sentry. And, like, yeah, he could easily make the jump because, of course, how the comics go about Sentry is that, at least to my knowledge, that every time he turns into the Void, people forget who Sentry is. Sometimes. I think that may be a plot point.
It's more that, like, Sentry. So in the initial like origin of Sentry is that when he was when he was as a hero during like the golden age of Marvel, he unfortunately obviously had the case of like the Void will come, and because Sentry is there, so like you can't have either one of them. So he made Reed create a machine that basically mind wiped everyone of Sentry's existence. So it is in the case that you're right. Like anytime the Void shows up, it's the case that Sentry needs to wipe everyone's memory. But I think that only happens once, and then obviously he shows up in New Avengers and then Dark Avengers, where he's just like he's there, kind of like, someone needs to help me, and like Norman is the one who helps him or tries to help him in the Dark Avengers, and with New Avengers he's more just there. Like the team are kind of like, we have him here to like monitor him, and it's more of a case like he's a ticking time bomb until the Void is unleashed. So I get what you mean. So like he could potentially move towards the Dark Avengers because like technically in public view they're heroes, but they're all villains, and technically Sentry's in that kind of like gray area with the Void, and I don't know if like the public will be like, oh, Sentry a bad dude kind of situation. But obviously time will tell after Secret Wars or Doomsday what that entails. So you like you said, we have one member already existing in the MCU with Sentry. The others are a bit of a mystery. Like it depends on which team you're going for. As like in Marvel Legends, we've got different versions of Dark Avengers being created with like you had like the Six-Star Black Suit Spider-Man, who was like, I think it was like Black Tarantula, I think. And then, but in the original Dark Avengers, it's Mac Gargan, who, because of Oscorp, he's contained Venom into a more like heroic look. So he looks like just a beefier version of Symbiote Spider-Man. And then characters that the MCU haven't even bothered to introduce are like Darkin and
Ares.
Yeah, and Ares. Well, I don't know if we're gonna get Ares because we had his brother show up in Love and Thunder, and he's not showed up since. So that's definitely gonna be like, oh, who knows? And then like one of the members is like the Dark Avengers version of Captain Marvel or Ms. Marvel at that time, and like I don't see Carol Danvers like Moonstone showing up like as a new character to like replace that. And then you have Scar, who is in the MCU, but he's a balding man, even though he's supposed to be like a kid. What the heck? That haircut from She-Hulk. We have no clue what the MCU will be doing with Scar. So it's definitely a weird question. Like it's definitely like we have no clue because they've not built up the Young Avengers. They've built up technically new Avengers, but not the Dark Avengers to be that kind of like counterbalance. So maybe that's Bullseye. But yeah, Zion. What else? Like, do you think there's other team or?
Well, maybe the
situation?
thing is that the MCU like loves to like change things from the comics, so maybe that Valentine is like gathering like different like villains, just like across, and not doing it like comic accurate. Like the new Avengers, I don't think that team isn't the same how it is in the comics.
Yeah, exactly.
So what I think that they're doing is like she's pulling like a Nick Fury and going like around recruiting like people who she thinks they are able to like take down the new Avengers. Like two other villains I can think of off the top of my head that can probably be in this team that has appeared in this saga is like Zemo and like Red Hulk.
Oh,
Like maybe like she can get those two because they're both in the raft right now, and Val has like power like in like the legal sense, so maybe she can get like those two, and that'll make 6 already. And I don't know who else can be on the team though, because Abomination is going good. So
yeah, he's retired.
Yeah. And maybe Scorpion, whatever happens to him after the Spider-Man movie.
That's true. And yeah, exactly. He's obviously active as Scorpion now, or in Brand New Day, but who knows? He might get the black suit. Who knows? But we move forward because we were hinting at this man's arrival, and it's a bit, it's about time we talk about the reveal of Luke Cage. Oh boy, he's back and looking fresh with the beard. It's fully grown, and he's got like a sort of diluted like yellow shirt, and he's all business, and it's revealed that like he was working with Charlie / Mr. Charles as like on some projects. So also Luke Cage was technically part of this like Thunderbolts-esque Dark Avengers group or whatever Valentina is planning. So clearly, like he's in business, he's in cahoots as well. But clearly now he's moved off of that because now Bullseye's with Mr. Charles. So it's definitely so. This is such a great reveal of like, yes, Luke Cage is back because we had Jessica Jones, and they showed Jessica Jones' daughter. So the initial kind of like connecting the dots. Don't forget the dots. Wait, that's not my. You had obviously it's like, oh, who else would be, the father of the daughter of Jessica Jones? Had to be Luke Cage. It's in the comics. Come on. But like him showing up, like from the last season of Luke Cage, we saw that he was going to kind of like become sort of like a kingpin to Harlem, kind of, and we did get like references of Luke Cage in season 1 of Daredevil Born Again on like the murals, like not murals, but like the kind of news thing that they were talking about. Oh, Harlem, blah blah blah, and they were talking about Luke Cage, like very indirect, like how they mentioned Spider-Man indirectly in season 1, where it's like dressed like a bug, Fisk doing that, but having Mike Coulter back as Luke Cage definitely seems like they're like building up to something. I don't know, topic for another time, season 3, what's going on, but let's focus on here and the now of Luke Cage back. What was your kind of initial reaction to this like reveal of Luke Cage? Because definitely I didn't expect it, but I was also like, we have Jessica Jones, come on.
Yeah, like I was 50-50. Like I did expect it, didn't, because of the whole like the daughter like storyline and like the whole thing of like him like rumored, maybe, even though it's a different topic, but like the mayor like Luke Cage kind of persona, like and so like of course I liked the Luke Cage series. Like I remember watching it and just thinking like he was really cool, and it's just like it's annoying that it's took this long to get them back, but at the same time, because they are now back, it gives me like hope for other projects down the line, and just seeing this and maybe like his involvement with other people, like I don't know if it will get to it, but like let's say the Defenders, like say if they have a team up with like Spider-Man or something, I don't know if that will come to fruition, but like it's just like other like vigilantes I want to see, and so I kind of just want, because of Luke Cage coming back, that to then hopefully open the door to more vigilantes and more just like them actually, because of like the hype, even though of course Luke Cage, Jessica Jones, and maybe of course Iron Fist as well, like as well as Daredevil, of course all of them are like heavily loved, but at the same time I think I speak for everyone in the case of like a lot of people want to see more vigilantes and want to see like just how other vigilantes are going to be portrayed in the MCU and this, that, and the other. And so I just was really happy with this because I'm just excited for season 3. Happy to see what he does, and also hopefully, like I said, opens doors for vigilantes, and like because he's not working for Charles anymore, that maybe he can just actually have a normal life and not like, because we don't really know what he was doing, but like it seems to be like government work kind of stuff. So I don't know if we'll find out in like a special presentation, because I personally think most of the characters in Daredevil deserve their own personal special presentation. But at the same time, like it's not me who makes the decisions, but like I would just want to see like what he done kind of thing, because they kind of hint at it, and he shows up very dapper. Like he seems like he's been like in like some meetings or something. Like he seems like he needs to be like he needs to look smart for his what he was doing. And so like yeah, I'm just excited to see Luke Cage back, and in season 3 I wouldn't mind a comic accurate suit, or somewhat comic accurate suit, but I don't know if they'll give it to us. But
do you mean like the Power Man like comic accurate, or do you mean his more modern where it's the yellow shirt but with the kind of like braces and that stuff?
But yeah,
like
I would say more so modern, because they hint at the original one in the original show, but
yeah,
no, yeah, like I would say the more modern one, just because I think it looks more slick. Like realistically, like, it's not hard to do, and if they put him in another outfit, then fine. Like, it wouldn't bother me too much, but I feel like it's just a yellow T-shirt with jeans, and then he sometimes has brass knuckles. Like, it doesn't seem that hard to do personally, but like at the same time, like we didn't get a comic accurate Iron Fist suit, and so like even though that didn't seem too hard to do, they weren't able to do that. Jessica Jones, of course, is fairly easy, but like I just think season 3 is gonna be like Vigilante's back in the MCU, and hopefully from now going onwards, even though the phase that's now coming out, or the most recent one, is more so going to be centered around the mutants. I think it should also delve into. I think it should be mutants and Vigilante saga, or like street kind of stuff, because I just personally think it would work so well together.
Yeah, no, definitely. I think like more street level heroes can be done in this kind of like aspect of a show, rather than like trying to shoehorn. Like, I mean, you can do it in a movie, but then it's like we need the build up for them, like so that they can have that appearance in the movie. Like, say for example, like you said, having the Defenders show up in a movie, potentially fighting the Hand. That's a movie. Like, you got all the street level heroes dealing with this kind of like threat. And I know we hint at this, season 3 talk, but you can definitely see something is in the works with the fact that we've got Luke Cage, we've got Jessica Jones. We're missing someone with a glowy fist, but let's see. But Zion, what was your kind of like thought of like seeing Luke Cage in the show? Like, was it surprising? Was it more of like, I predicted it, but I was still happy to see him. Sort of.
I didn't expect him to come back, because like how they already had Jessica in there, and it's just like they wouldn't give us like any more. Not this season. They mentioned them, but I was still like, it's probably enough. One extra vigilante per season. We got Punisher first season, Jessica second season, but then he cameoed, and I was like, oh, I was like surprised and happy that he came back with the same actor. And it just makes me like hope that they come back in the next season, or even like in his own like project, and it gives me hope that at least like Iron Fist will come back, because they already got Matt, Jessica, Luke, and Frank. Give us Danny, even though his show like isn't the best. It was still a good choice for Iron Fist, and it's canon whether they like it or not. So they need to bring him back and have like a Heroes for Hire TV show. I think that would be like the better option for Luke and Danny to actually have a TV show together.
Yeah,
instead of like separate again.
Yeah, most definitely. I think a Heroes for Hire show is brilliant. Like, you have kind of like like they did have this in the comics where like Iron Fist had this like jumpsuit kind of outfit where it was like black and yellow, but he still had the mask. I mean, come on, MCU. You have one job with Iron Fist. If he shows up, give him his mask. Do not do the Netflix thing and only show it for once and then forget about it. No, he needs to be wearing that when he's in fighting. He can take it off like afterwards. I mean, I would personally say don't take it off, but but I think opening the floodgates of Defenders, Heroes for Hire. We definitely want to see these characters not in just Daredevil. We want to see them in other stuff, like, say for example, in a Spider-Man movie, or something else. Like, because you need to build this universe, and it can't just be contained into, like how Ashwan was saying. You can't keep it just contained. You need to let them spread their wings and fly, and let them explore this universe of the MCU. It's supposed to be vast, but so far with the shows, they've not had that kind of crossover ability. Like, yeah. But yeah, we've So obviously from here, it's the proper aftermath where this is the kind of like, for me, the controversial take where Fisk seems to have gotten off scot-free. Obviously, he's not in New York, but he's just chilling out in some beach, and he's like, free. Or he looks constipated, but he's out in the open, free. But he's obviously not in New York. So obviously, like one of the things that Fisk and Matt talked about during their discussion of quieting down, it was like, oh, we know, like, we both love New York, but we're both bad for it kind of situation. So like clearly Fisk is like, all right, I'm gonna have my chill time and leave. And then so with Fisk, he's out in the open but away from New York. Whereas Daredevil, unfortunately, or Matt Murdock, is in prison. He's obviously been arrested, or he's like, he has this like very kind of cutesy scene with him and Karen being like having like their last like dinner at a restaurant, and then he's taken like into prison, and he's there like he's comfortable. He's like, yeah, I'm taking my sentence. And it's similar to a comic story where he goes into prison after killing someone, and he's like, I am guilty of this, send me to prison. But then, and you have that whole thing of him wearing, like, he's wearing a jumpsuit, like a prison jumpsuit, but he's also got a Daredevil mask, but it's orange. And it's like, oh, I want to see that. But then again, this show, has made the identity public. So what's the point of him wearing that? Unless it's like, oh, the persona of Daredevil needs to be brought back. So that's like, who knows if that will happen. But obviously, with Daredevil being in prison, and we saw that most of those anti-vigilante squad, like Powell, the guy with the, mad swearing, like almost like Tourette's kind of situation, where he's like, yeah, fucking hey, man, we gotta get this guy. The guy who's like all corrupt and everything. We know he's in prison with Matt, along with the rest of the squad. I don't think Buck was arrested. I'm not sure. No, I think he was fine. But there's definitely enemies in prison, so Matt has to deal with that for next season. But also, you leave at the point of like, there is no Daredevil in New York. Obviously, we'll see the like after effects, and we'll definitely talk about it in our season 3 talk of what that means. And yes, Ashwan, you are on the point of like, yeah, Daredevil's in prison. You know what else was in the prison? Spider-Man in the recent trailer for Brand New Day. And who was he fighting? The Hand. The Hand. And they're in a prison. Now, what does that mean? Like, is like Matt working with Spider-Man in the prison? Like, clearly they couldn't show like what was behind Spider-Man or what he was protecting. But clearly something's happening. And I think season 3 will be that kind of like, I think it's a bridge between like a Brand New Day and like obviously this show. So it's like, I think it's supposed to be, obviously next week we have Punisher, and then I think season 3, since it's filming now, I don't know if season 3 will come out before Spider-Man. That might be too close or something. But anyway, this is the big aftermath. Fisk free and able to spread his wings, and basically having the time of his life, but not in New York. And Matt is contained in prison. Like, he's without everyone. He's alone. What do you think? Like, what was kind of like your mind going through, like when this happened? Like, you saw Fisk like kind of free, and then Matt not. Like, yeah, what was your like opinion on that? Like, Ashwan.
Like personally, like I somewhat expected the prison stuff just because like maybe the Spider-Man like stuff that could have happened, but like it's just kind of annoying because literally straight before this he proposes to Karen.
Yeah.
And like he proposes to Karen, like she says yes, of course, and then he literally just gets taken straight to prison. Like and like it's just kind of annoying again that Kingpin's got like the short end of the stick in this sense, like stick.
Kurt, if you're listening,
Um,
we mentioned Stick. Marvel Legends, listen to us. We need him.
but like it's just like because it's nice, like it's nice for Fisk in a way because he's gone to the beach that I'm pretty sure that him and Vanessa were gonna go to, and so then like he gets to experience it. But it's just like it's just kind of annoying that he gets away with some stuff now. Like he gets away with all the stuff that he's done, and like Matt slash Daredevil is like having to deal with this whole prison thing, even though like all the task force got arrested. Like you said, Buck didn't, Kingpin didn't, like Heather didn't. Like even though she didn't like normally, like, she didn't really do that much, but she's part of the like bracket.
Corruption, yeah.
So like yeah, but like it's just like I was a bit surprised about it, but at the same time, it's like the sense of just like if they do go along with the whole Daredevil in prison and like the Spider-Man stuff and that, then it makes sense, and it's just like also like the main thing as well that like I just thought about and I saw someone like say about it is that in the same prison that Daredevil's in, Scorpion might be in. And so, like, the main like thing is like maybe they get into a fight or something. And that's how Scorpion like breaks out or something like that. Maybe that's how they like lead into that. Or it's just like it. Whenever I see like people be put in prison, so like Red Hulk in the Raft, or like you've got like the prison in Wonder Man. And then you've got this prison. It always just like excites me a little bit because in my head I'm thinking, right, there should be other villains in there. Why can't we see them? Like kind of thing. Like realistically, there would be other villains in there. Like
Yeah.
I don't personally think that in the Raft, for example, it's only Red Hulk and Zemo.
Yeah.
There's clearly more villains that they either haven't introduced yet or that we've just forgot about.
Yeah.
And so like it's just the point of I just want at least if this goes into Brand New Day to maybe like showcase some other characters, like I was saying about the whole like vigilante type thing. Like it could showcase some like other characters. And like I'm trying to like think vigilante wise, but maybe we could get Stiltman.
Finally.
Maybe
I mean,
like,
you're not wrong. I mean, Stiltman would be, I think one of the things like that has been the problem for 5 seasons is that it's just been about Daredevil versus Fisk or Matt versus Fisk. Now, to play Daredevil's advocate, we did have the Hand in season 2, and obviously Punisher was sort of like an enemy slash anti-hero, like he was an obstacle in the case, but you still had Fisk as like the main big honcho of the bad guys, and it was like, I think now, like, although it's stupid that Fisk is like scot-free, I'm kind of glad we're moving away from Fisk, and I think Damien says it right. Time to bring in Owl, Hammerhead,
Mr. Eager.
anyone else not Fisk. But there is another point. I didn't see any pictures of it, but we'll talk about it after this. But Zion, what was your kind of like the kind of like aftermath of these two, like where it sets off, like both these characters in this place at the end of the show?
Before I get to that, in the Raft, it's also was Jessica's sister in the Raft too. I forgot her name for her name's like Trish Walker. Yeah, she's in the Raft. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. She's in the raft. That one villain from Luke Cage, I'm pretty sure is in the raft.
Oh yeah.
And the leader.
Yes, the leader. Yeah, and he's definitely gonna appear in Doomsday. I mean, he did that cryptic tease, but yeah. So like, because I think Daredevil is probably not in the raft per se.
He's in Rikers.
Yeah, he's in Rikers. So I can definitely see that potentially bringing Hellcat and some characters from the Netflix era in this prison. Like maybe they got transferred from the raft to here because they don't pose as like a greater threat compared to like, say, for example, Red Hulk or like in terms of like
Well,
leader.
well, Trish
But
does have
yeah.
powers. She's like in like enhanced.
Okay, yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
I'm sorry to bring this up to you, Damien, but Batroc died in Captain America and the Winter Soldier show. He got shot by the power broker. I'm so sorry. Like he was one of my favorite, like non important like Captain America villains in the MCU. I know he's important in the comics, so don't I know. Batroc the Leaper, epic, and also I love George St. Pierre, but he unfortunately got killed in Falcon and Winter Soldier, so he will never return. I'm sorry, unless miraculous.
Multiverse.
No, just healing. Batroc. I mean, I guess he could have leaped his way into the reality.
But
But
yeah,
yeah,
I like this ending because like it's something different. It's not just the same old thing where Fisk is in jail and Matt's like doing his doing this thing. It's something different that could probably like work for these characters to be separated for like a while. Fisk is, yeah, he's not in prison, but if he was in prison, he would have found a way to get out of prison. And plus he would have had his task force to back him up. Here he has
exactly.
no. He doesn't have his task force. Vanessa, he lost his title as mayor. He like basically like has like no one. He's like lost everything. He has like nowhere to go. This is like a better ending for him, even though he gets away with it. He still doesn't get away with it scot free.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, I get what you mean because like although he's free, he's missing the person that he was like his love. So he's empty. He doesn't have anyone to love. He's got no one, like you said, he's got no one to be there for him. Maybe Buck is on vacation with him. That'll be funny.
But then Matt going to jail, I think I, d- I don't hate it, but it just seemed like I saw this Instagram reel that made me like really think about something. Is that Matt's been like defending the city from like Kingpin, Bullseye, the Hand, Muse for like over 10 years now. And he gets in jail, but Spider-Man gets to keep the city. And
Yeah.
And it just made me think that like Matt, he didn't really do anything wrong. That's like worth him going to jail for. So I don't know how to feel about him being in jail though. Kingpin's ending I like, but Matt's is just a little. I don't know. But I do like that Fisk gun. We can hopefully get more threats. Like the Hand will probably be in season 3 because of what Spider-Man. Going on to more villains. Even though the Owl was killed in the first season, he did say he had a son. So maybe the son can like take over.
Absolutely, yeah. Like that is like 100%. That's probably what they're gonna do, and I think that works. Like we didn't see his son, so there's some mystery in that kind of like sense of like we can bring Owl and hopefully give him his iconic hair. Like I hope he's in prison and he's got the hair like woofed up and like the Marvel Legends figure that we recently got, and maybe he has like the claws like knuckle dusters that are like shaped as like you know, the claws and that stuff. That would be sick. Like you imagine, like definitely talk about this in the season 3 topic, but there you go. Yeah, exactly. Look at him. He looks so good. Wait, let's see. There you go.
I also want to say we have seen like a bunch of Daredevil villains in the MCU. They just haven't fought Daredevil for some reason. They're giving them to like that. They gave Leapfrog and Manbull. They put him in She-Hulk. I think Matador was She-Hulk. They gave a bunch of other villains to the other Defenders. So like, it's not that they haven't been in the MCU. It's just that
they've not been in Daredevil
for some reason. Yeah, for some reason the MCU likes to give villains to other heroes, like with Red Hulk and Captain America.
Yeah, no, exactly. Like, I could see them like how they do it is like, oh, with Daredevil, he's having to fight. Like, there's a whole prison kind of like ecosystem where like maybe the Owl and like other people are in charge, and then they obviously maybe do like a prison riot kind of situation, and like they try and obviously they want to kill Daredevil because he was like the main source of their kind of like frustration. And maybe you could like, obviously we haven't seen all of Daredevil's like the years he was like, you know, not blipped. So he could have fought the Owl, and then like we see like a flashback scene. I know the like a lot of shows love doing flashback scenes, and I think that could work where you have a younger, like not younger, but you have a Daredevil scene where he's fighting the Owl, or maybe Stiltman, or
Justice for Stiltman.
Exactly. And like the thing is, us mentioning Stiltman, his suit appeared in the Netflix era in Melvin's workshop, which also Melvin was technically in prison at the end of season 3. Who knows? Could we get Gladiator in the MCU? I mean, that is his persona, and we did see him with that vest, and you know he had the armor and that stuff. So who knows? Exactly. Damien goes justice for Jester, but
we need him too.
Yeah, exactly.
Give us all goofy villains.
Yeah, we need more villains, like both for Matt to deal with in prison, but also in New York. I think, you know, Hammerhead or Mr. Fear, these guys could be in New York, like because there's no Fisk, there's a power struggle. And like this is definitely season 3 talk, but I can imagine, you know, say for example, Muse 2 being there as that villain on that side, causing havoc and that stuff. But anyway, before we get to like season 3 talk, there was one tease in this show, and technically there is no image for it. But a lot of this season had imagery of the Rose. Now, we did talk about that, like Rose appearing, like we were saying, Daniel was going to be the Rose. He was going to be secretly Fisk's son. Unfortunately, we know what happened to him. Unfortunately, which kind of like made me go, oh, what was the point of his character then? Just to die. One of the weird, like, I know they wrote like an alternate scene where he did live, but I was just like, he didn't show any, like, I think this season didn't have much of him and Fisk together, and I think it was the case to like throw off the whole he could be Rose, because I think season 1 kind of hit that in the foot, but then I don't think that was the initial idea. But or like all the imagery in this season of the Rose, like from Vanessa like getting those visions of a Rose and that stuff, and then you know seeing always they focused on a Rose showing up. So it's like, can we get Rose, like the Rose, in season 3? Who knows? But I think from that we need to give our final verdict of this entire season of Daredevil Born Again season 2. Now we're gonna do it differently. We're going from Z to A. So Zion, what is your verdict for this season? Was it good or was it absolute rubbish?
This is the worst TV show of all time. This season was the worst. I'd rather watch Eternals now. I'm just kidding.
Oh,
So this season is definitely better than the previous season. I would definitely say because even though like I think season 1 was like, well, I call it season 4, but like I think like the last season was like written by the original writers for the Netflix series. What this season wasn't, and I was like nervous and like what they would do, and like are they gonna change it? But they actually made it better, and they made this one more like the Netflix show than last season did. And I like how they increased the action. They did the characters right. They didn't soften them up or like try to like change them. And even though they did some questionable things about like how they did like Bullseye, it was like teetering him. It was like, is he gonna be a good guy? Is he gonna stay a villain? That's the one thing that I was kind of like iffy about, mainly about this season. And overall, I would say this is like a good season, and I can't wait to see where it goes next. Now, for a score, I'm not pretty sure what I'll score it. I would say it's maybe better than season 1. It was on like the same level because I like season 3 of Daredevil the best out of all 5 seasons. Season two, it was like, I don't know. Maybe this season is like between season 1 and 2 of the OG Daredevil.
okay.
But I also like how they didn't shy away from like they also gave him like his like suit. They brought back Jessica Jones, gave us more vigilantes, increased the story attic, and they didn't shy away from the violence and made the story go forward. And yeah, I'm glad that they didn't fumble because I was worried.
Okay, fair enough. Now, Ashwan, what is your final verdict for the season? Was it good or was it rubbish?
I personally think it was very good, if not great. Just because, like, as what I've watched of Daredevil before, like, of course, I thought season 1 was pretty good, but of course it was a bit like iffy, and of course, like, literally how it starts, like, a lot of people gave it very low just because of how it starts, and like, it's just when watching this season, my love for Daredevil, even though it was there for season 1, it was there like at least way more. I think way more for this season, just because it delivered on what it needed to do, and like, even though like you said before, it's a whole nother season of just, oh, Daredevil, Fisk, like whatever, and then like they then like just go their separate ways or whatever at the end, like, but like, it needed to be what I think it needed to be, and like, I think it was so good, like Zion was mentioning with Jessica Jones coming back, and it's just like this season, like, it put so many things like into the timeline and into anything to do with like this coming out after this. Like, because this ended and how it ended, like, a lot of people are going to watch it anyways, but what if something happens in Punisher next week? Like, something could happen in Punisher. Like, that's coming out next week. You've got, like, of course, you got Luke Cage coming back. Where is that going to lead? You got Bullseye now, like, working for Mr. Charles. Is that going to lead to Dark Avengers? Is it going to lead to anything with Fontaine, or is he just going to be put to the side? Like, it's just the whole season as a whole. Like, personally, I would give it a 9 out of 10 for me, just because like I enjoyed it so much, and I like when it comes to the Netflix stuff, because they don't hold back on stuff. Like, that's why I love the Punisher series so much, because it allows, like, because of how he is, it allows it to be violent, which I feel like some certain projects need to be that. I get, because it's owned by Disney, they have to then like put the ratings down a little bit. but at the same time, like when it comes to certain Marvel superheroes, like you need them to be of certain ratings and be of certain like grittiness, and it's just like, especially like because you'll get little bits of blood here and there in Marvel projects, but you won't have like the full on stuff that goes down in like Daredevil or Punisher and stuff like that. And it's just like, especially for Spider-Man coming out, I want to see that in Spider-Man personally. I know, like, because it's like Spider-Man, like Spider-Man's more centered, like, or he's being
Like
centered like for kids and stuff. So I kind of get if they don't do it, but it's just like the fact that he's near enough, at least in that like broken and a bit sad or whatever. Like I wouldn't be surprised if like they could go into something, but like it's just going off of this season. It's just, even though like I've said before, like even the shit stuff I'll watch MCU wise. I'm not saying this is, but I'll even watch like the shit stuff in the MCU, and it's just like whenever I watch anything MCU, even if it is bad, I still get somewhat enjoyment from it, just because it means then I've got another thing to watch.
Yeah.
And like for instance, one of the main ones, of course, like a lot of people were disappointed with Secret Invasion, but
Yeah.
I got to see more Nick Fury. I got to see more Talos. Like I personally didn't mind it too much because like Nick Fury now, like we don't really know what he's doing because he's not really like he's like doing the whole Secret Invasion thing. Then he's doing the whole Miss Marvel thing where he's putting a load of his people inside cats and then transporting them on a spaceship. And like it's just like with this, it just when watching it every week, because like with so this came out, of course, like I said, every week, but Wonder Man that recently came out all of it at one. And I feel like that suited coming out all at the same time, but this suits being episode by episode, kind of like week by week kind of thing, just because. And I feel like that's what they should do with most. I think depending on the series, they should do it week by week or all at once. But I just feel like this works so many times because, like, you have certain, like, the endings of certain episodes, like, leading into the next episode. And it's just, when watching it all, and, like, even though, like, because I know that some certain series is not including this one, but I know that some people, like She-Hulk a bit more because they watched it all as one. Like the thing, because like that's the only problem with some of the TV shows is they hinder from the week by week thing, and so like if you're watching it week by week, then the TV show like is gonna be a bit shitter in a way. But I feel like sometimes if you watch it as a whole, it's like way better, and it's just like when watching this second season, and like including the first and just all the Netflix stuff in general, it makes me more and more want a Daredevil movie, but I don't think they'll give it to us.
Yeah.
It's like
yeah.
But it's just like I get it because it's like from the Netflix stuff, so they're keeping it self-contained to like TV shows. But like I said, I wouldn't mind like a Daredevil movie or something. Like even though I don't know how to go about it because it would be near enough every season we've had before, probably just like Matt versus Fisk, and then done kind of thing. But like at the same time, it's just like as much as I love watching TV shows, it would be cool just to watch like a 2 to 3 hour film just about Daredevil, if you know what I mean.
Oh, yeah, no, I totally get that. Like, I think they wouldn't like. I know there's issues with Fisk's rights for movies, so he couldn't appear. But Daredevil is definitely a fair game. I know he's kind of had that kind of like Hulkism, where MCU Hulkism, where it's like he can appear in other films, but he can't have like a solo film. I don't think that's Daredevil's case. I know he was kind of like not Fox. Well, he was Fox when they did that film, but I think he can definitely have his own film. And one of the things I think they would have to do is probably the Hand. Like it could be technically a Defenders film, but Daredevil's either the main hero or he's the main villain. If you know Shadowlands, that's a story that needs to be adapted or would be cool to see adapted. But in terms of this season, for the final, like for my verdict, initially, before we were talking on the stream, I didn't really like this finale. Like, I felt like the show was a bit, there were some moments that I just really felt like were detracting from it being a Daredevil show. Like, there was a lot of scenes of, um, like Cherry and Kirsten, like the OCs, like, and Daniel Blake, and kind of like the characters who didn't really interact with Daredevil. So, like, initially, I thought we didn't get that much of Daredevil, and I think there's some sort of like case to that. Like, there is a lot of like truth. Like, sometimes we don't see as much Daredevil as we want to. Like, because the whole season in this season, he's in hiding. He can't really do much unless he's in, like he's going from room to room sort of situation. And I think one of the things that is kind of like a nitpick for me is that I want to see Daredevil like swing around the city. He has billy clubs, and he does that in the comics. He's an acrobat. Like he was trained by Stick. Again, Stick. Yeah, exactly. Look at that pose. That's Daredevil. Like he's I know he's a boxer. Like his dad is a boxer and everything, but also he's flexible. And we do get moments. Like, I think highlight of the season is the action. Like, boy, they like up the ante for that kind of like action kind of sort of situation. Like the brutality of it, the kind of like him flinging around the billy clubs to like ricochet and hit like the bad guy like on point. And those scenes were great. I just think because they were so contained into like a room inside, we don't see Daredevil fight in the streets as much, because obviously he was hiding in this season majority of the time. But then I think when talking with you guys, I think I've decided, like, I've kind of like seen the light. I've seen the good in this show. Like, it definitely had some great moments. There definitely are like some negatives, but I'd give it a solid 7, close to 8, because it's still we still got Daredevil and Fisk, and I think this one was a more of a better finale for them as characters, like for their relationship. Sure, in season 3, it's like such a great moment. Finally, Fisk like getting beat down by Daredevil, and that's more of like a physical confrontation of like Daredevil beat Fisk. Whereas in this season, it's more of like them like getting to an understanding of that they can't be fighting each other anymore. So it's like kind of a meta thing that, yeah, we can't do Fisk and Daredevil anymore. Please, we move on to different villains now. And I think they kind of wanted to move on to that. And what they set up is definitely like some intriguing stuff, like with Muse 2, potential of Luke Cage and maybe the Defenders, maybe some connection to the Hand. Also, where's Elektra? But with that being said, I think that is us for the Gen Z report for Daredevil Born Again season 2, both the finale and just the season as general. Now, where can the lovely people go from Z to A? So, Zion, where can the lovely people meet you?
You can find me here every Saturday on Legend Liquor on Daniel's channel every 2 weeks, and mainly on Instagram at Generosity _ and check out my recent posts of poses of my Maximum Spider-Man.
Awesome. And Ashwan, where can the lovely people see you?
Well, of course, you can find me Ashwan231 on Instagram, Ashwan231 Comics on YouTube, here every week on the Gen Z Report, every 2 weeks on Dan Who Reviews Legends and Liquor, and every Thursday on the Extra Show on Dan Who Reviews, of course. Become a member, guys, because then you can see my lovely face.
And speaking of lovely faces, we're all looking proper dapper for this version of Gen Z Report. Who knows? If you guys want to see us in suits for the next episode, leave it in the comments down below. But of course, I am Agent Z-Man. You can always find me here on the Gen Z Report every Saturday. It's weekly. We always have a topic. And next week's topic is a juicy one, as we will be talking about Punisher, One Last Kill. But yes, you can find me here on the Gen Z Report, on my channel, Z-Man Talk Back, or Agent Z-Man. Might be doing a video about Mortal Kombat for the hype for the stream, as well as Mortal Kombat 2 review. Who knows? Maybe make sure you hit that like button, hit that notification bell to see when I post a new video and when we do the live streams. But yes, this is the Gen Z Report, signing off.
You requested.
The Gen Z Report, your weekly dose of awesome.
Toys and comics.
Covering all the topics, week in, week out. That's what it's all about.
The only source you need.
The Gen Z Report.
Gen Z Report.
Gen Z Report.
Ashwan, Zion, Z-Man.